Do you want to take a life? Do you want to cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
Nerdrotic.com.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what? Wow. Are we off center or what? How did that happen? Wow. We're in
Just blame it on me.
We're in letterbox format for some reason. Hang on, folks. Let's fix this right now. Look at that. I have the technology.
It's cinematic. It's what it is.
It's cinematic.
Cinematic mode.
70 millimeter. Nerdrotic Nooner. Hi, everybody. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. And this is, like I said, the Nerdrotic Nooner, episode 315. Holy shit, 315. That's a lot.
There's a lot.
And, of course, it's hump day, so we have Chris Gore from Film Threat joining us. Hello, sir.
Hey, Gary, thanks for having me. I'm still waking up, so please be kind to me. Hey, Garrett, what's up?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Oh,
What's going on?
we'll be kind.
Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you, and I am too. My wife is like a German Shepherd, so she can get up, wake up, and she's all, "Let's go!" You know, I'm like a, what is it? No. Is it a collie? What are the dogs that like take an hour to wake up? That's me. I'm just kind of, who are you? Like,
I like those dogs that just don't ever wake up. You know, they just kind of chill at all times.
Yeah, I got one of those.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. I have the spectrum of dogs. I have a troublemaker who's super smart and just a pain in the ass, and then I have a girl dog who's the like kind of, she's like a cat dog. It's hard to
describe her. That's kind of what I get. I get those vibes from your dogs.
From Maris, yeah. And Parker is just super chill, except if it's a thunderstorm, then she's under a table or something like that. Or crawling under my bed, which is hilarious. Like you see her butt sticking out of the bed. Hi, Garrett.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, way to represent today.
I know, right? I didn't even realize I was already wearing the shirt. And I was like, before the stream went on, I was like, oh, I got to have a hat or something because my hair is kind of crazy in the morning or afternoon. So I put this on and look, man.
Hashtag me too, by the way.
Right.
Looking sexy.
Yeah. It's almost every day that I wake up and I look at the Discord and you're like, just got up. And it's the same time that I just got up. I'm like, yeah, okay,
and it's like
10
or 11. It's freaking YouTube hours. And we got, I can tease it here, but we can't show it, I don't think. But we got our poster for the meetup for Dallas. Holy shit. Done by,
it's so good.
It's so effing good. Oh my God. But now a bunch of people are going to have to go that probably didn't know they were going to go, but now I'm going to make them go because they're on the poster.
When is it?
16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. I mean, that's the
of June
of June next month of the con of Dallas Fan Expo.
Oh, right. Nice.
And this will be the one con I'm actually going inside because they don't require masks, unlike San Diego, which by the way, Chris, I'm still going to see your doc. We're still gonna go, but I'm not setting foot inside a fucking San Diego Comic-Con, even though they offered us press passes.
They did.
Wait, San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah,
press passes?
we made it.
Yeah,
we made it. So did Geeks and Gamers. Yeah,
seems a little desperate. They're like, please press. Come on.
I might still get the badge and probably just give it to people who are willing to wear a mask. I'm fine with that, but not me.
Wait, they're still doing masks at San Diego Comic-Con? Yes.
It's fucking unbelievable. Nobody's gonna go. It's been announced.
Yes.
The con's dead. It's fucking dead.
Yeah, it's done.
It's done.
Wow.
You'll be able to get tickets this year, folks. But who's gonna want to wear a mask? Nobody in our crowd's gonna want to wear a mask.
No.
And produce vaccination.
Oh, yeah, papers.
Yes.
Information.
You have to get a test or prove you've been vaccinated, and it's probably like multiple booster. I've lost track.
It's like the state of California.
Are we on 4 now?
Yeah, I think
weird.
so. It's weird. State of California, it's not a state.
No.
It's fucking
It is
collective.
the state.
Is the state. Gavin Newsom's a douche. Total fucking douchebag. But like we're not here to talk about that. We're going to talk about Doctor Who and Doctor Strange, a couple of doctors to talk about, and then some Lord of the Rings news that hit today, which is, I mean, none of it's ever good. Not from Amazon. This one's from HarperCollins, who decided to, I don't know, they've made good stuff in the past, but like went full sacrilege today and just pissed off a bunch of people.
Yep.
It's kind of beautiful. Like the reaction has been great. People are just posting the books they already have. And I highly recommend like whatever Tolkien books you have. And if you don't have them, go buy them from a used bookstore. You'll find a dusty copy of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, the trilogy out there, and you'll be helping a small business instead of fucking Amazon or the publisher.
I hate it whenever they do that in general. Whenever a movie is coming out that's adapting the book, and then they just replace every cover with the movie
second age,
like regardless if it's good or not. Like, why would you ruin books like that?
And they're the hand covers of like
those posters, the teaser poster thing.
Yeah.
Did you also see the influencers, the super fans, got access to watch 10 minutes of the first episode?
It was 20,
and they love it. They love it.
It was 20 minutes. It was
20 minutes.
It was 20 minutes. Yeah, and the shills who claim they aren't shills all were flown out to London, and they all said the same thing. We talked to the showrunners, and we really liked what they said, but they gave no details at all.
Yeah.
But there is that one line in there. Not everybody's going to be happy with all of their decisions. You don't think? Well, I will just tease right now that my next video will kind of be letting you know what to expect. You probably already know. Your worst fears will be confirmed.
Is it the Wheel of Time Part 2? Is that what this is going to be?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah. Yep.
Generic fantasy show. Sorry, Gary.
I think we all knew. But, we got a lot of people here. Let me get this chat popped out so we can see who's here. We got Megan. Oh, my God. I don't want to mess up your last name, Megan. So, hi, Megan. Emerald Eyes 7 Zemi. They're both members, by the way. Thank you. Fellow citizen Gamer Word. Welcome, Gamer Word. I wish it was a Gamer World, to be honest with you. Bastard and his wrench. Tony T. Markio. Welcome. Cutting Edge. Welcome. Eric K and his wrench. Welcome. Spike in the Madness. Guy Incognito. Daniel. CN Samson Books. George Booney 90. It's starting to go fast. Freddie York. Geek Tropology. Fubar, Lee. Oh, now I can't read it.
Oh, no, it's really going fast.
Okay, hang on. Russian Bob, Uncle Remus, Hot Coffee, Dan Hans, Tyler Shelton, Slain Hope. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Lance Johnson and Western Civilization, the thing we're trying to protect. Welcome. Men of the West. I just had to say that. Yeah. So what do you want to start? Well, let's start with Doctor Strange so we can just get that. Because, for one, you heard what I had to say at EFAP and yesterday on Real BBC. And plus, I got a review coming out. So I'll just say I didn't like it. I thought there were some cool Raimi moments in it that I did like. I think there was a great movie in there that I think Chris's assessment of it being Disney Plus is very, very accurate. And that's what I'd like to hear right now. Chris Gore, what were your thoughts on Doctor Strange 2? And we'll get to you.
Well, I did see it a second time, opening night on Thursday at the Burbank AMC, and I saw it in IMAX 3D. And on the positive side, I look for a silver lining sometimes. The 3D was great. The 3D was really great. Like seeing those Doctor Strange, otherworldly effects in 3D was great. The problem was it was still the same movie I saw a few nights before, and it got worse. In fact, this movie gets worse the more you think about it. I think your EFAP really proved that to me. You only, in 2+ hours, you only got through the first 30 minutes of the movie. There's so many problems. And when I hear Mahler say, well, why didn't they do this? He's got better ideas than the people working on these movies, because I think that they're not thinking as deeply as the fans are. I think that's always the case. The problem I had with the screening also was there were a lot of normies at this screening. It was an earlier screening. It was packed out, and it's in the middle of, it's not in Hollywood, but it's like the industry, right? So there were a lot of people there, and they seemed to love it, and they seemed to be very much, anything that was sort of a Disney Plus reference was an applause break. And I'm not down with I have to watch 3. I mean, this is the thing. People are kind of like mocking Avatar because the new Avatar trailer came out, which, by the way, like in one day surpassed all the views of the trailer for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I think it's just telling that normies really like.
Oh,
Avatar.
it's normie nip.
It is.
It's
The normies love it, man.
And that's fine. Normie nip is fine. The more the merrier. I actually happen to think that the new Avatar films are going to be a hit for the reason that they were made and written at a time where none of the things that are issues today were an issue. Because Cameron's been working on them so long, it's like he's worked on them in a bubble, and that's a good thing. Maybe a bubble literally, because it's an underwater mostly film. There was a joke in there, I never got to it. But the movie has so many problems, and I think part of it is just like the burden of, I can't see anyone dropping into this movie, even if you've only seen the first Doctor Strange and you see this movie, you're going to be completely confused. And there's no, I mean, the arc for Doctor Strange is the least interesting in the entire movie. It's the least interesting. It's just.
What arc? I don't. It's barely even an arc.
You nailed it. It's like, what arc? Like, I want the movies. I'm tired of the shows that are called like, Doctor Strange. It's a Doctor Strange movie or it's a Kenobi series. I'd like it to be about the title character. At least have them have the main arc, and cool side characters are cool. That's great. The reason Boba Fett is so popular today, he had like 4 minutes of screen time. Being mysterious is interesting. And I think, I just think the Disney Plus series have watered down, for me, the Marvel brand, where the movies are less special. And the fact that now you need to be up to speed, you have to have watched Disney Plus series, just makes me feel like this is like just the feature length at the movie theater version of a Disney Plus show. So I'm out. EFAP, I can't wait to see the conclusion in 8 more hours. And it might
get us
take
to
that
the
long.
Illuminati.
The ending was so freaking convoluted unnecessarily, and the sort of lame. We know Wanda's not dead. I mean, that's dumb. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, like,
she's not dead.
Basically killed her off screen.
Right, an off-screen death, or a, like, I used to say that, like, I mean, most villains, if you look at like history of villains in movies, it's falling from a high place is the leading cause of death.
For super villains, avoid cliffs and high bridges.
Yeah,
like, you see rocks fall on me and I fell down.
Yeah,
but it was very far away. The camera was very far away. I'm dead for sure.
But the falling from a high place is always like the cause of death. I mean,
saw that little final red explosion as the whole thing was collapsing, right?
She pieced out.
She pieced out. Yeah.
Maybe she had a sling ring.
Maybe
she stole it from Stephen Strange way in the beginning of the movie. We just didn't see it. It was off screen too.
Yeah, that was off screen too. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wonder if normies will catch up and just sort of like realize, like, God, I don't want to, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth the obligation to watch all the Disney Plus stuff and be this informed. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, it takes them a while. It does. We're definitely starting, but as I said yesterday, we take 5 steps forward and 2 steps back, and we're our own worst enemy, and one part of that is, I mean, it's just like not being connected, not being in touch, and you can't, like, normies you can't blame because they got way too much to think about right now. Mm-hmm. They're just way more worried about gas and paying the bills, so I can't blame them when it comes to, like, quote unquote pundits or anything. Like, later we can talk about that Cernovich tweet, which was fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
But what did you? Oh, I'll talk about it.
Right.
And it's just like, it's a great example of like where we defeat ourselves all the time, every single fucking time. But Quarter Black.
Yes.
What did you come around on Doctor Strange?
I loved it. No, it sucked. It still sucks. It is just the more you go into it, Chris, like you said, the dumber it seems, the more convoluted it seems. Like the sling ring thing, that was something, a staple of Doctor Strange 1. And every appearance after that was a sling ring. When did he ever use it in the film? Like maybe once. Did he portal in that cat head with a sling ring? But there's so many situations where it totally could have just ended all of the movie.
The
just
sling
right to credits. Sling ring. Oh, you just disappear. You just go somewhere else. Why are we going through the multiverse when you can just leave,
dude,
at any point?
Endgame.
You can open a portal and go anywhere.
Endgame. I was watching the end of Endgame last night. There is giant sling ring
On your
portals
left
that have fucking ships flying through them, and it's like, what? You just decided not to use this the whole time, and that's the kind of shit you do need to think about. You can't go just forget. No, I can't. I cannot forget about a sling ring.
You kind of established every single time Doctor Strange shows up, he kind of uses a portal. So why doesn't he use it in this movie when there's a ton of situations where he could use that? Like, if you wanted to do that,
have him
take it away from him.
Yeah.
Give him, do something.
Like Wanda
in the
goes,
story.
does a little hand signal and just like renders them obsolete, just immediately. That's
give me some. I mean, I still wouldn't be happy about that, but it's better than nothing. Him just not using any of these powers, and then all of the. I mean, he's a wizard that can do all kinds of things, and he just doesn't do them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just it makes it so convoluted, and then the issues compound on top of each other. Whenever you're like, wait, yeah, he can get out of this situation if he just uses one of the powers he's already demonstrated he can do earlier in the movie. So there's that. And then on top of that, there's the convoluted nature of the multiverse and how the MCU is already, they've painted themselves into this corner that they can't get out of. You start with the blip. That's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Then it compounds on top of that when you do Loki. Now we have timelines also with blips. And then we go to Spider-Man. Now it's got a multiverse that we're opening up, and then more people from other movies are coming in. And now we're on top of this, but none of them, like you guys have said on Real BBC, none of those are connected to each other. They're all individual instances of like timeline breakage and convoluted storylines that they have to now navigate, but they can't navigate them because all the writers are horrible writers that have no experience.
That haven't worked with each other, right?
Either. It's like they're all working in these little bubbles individually, but they're all making this big cohesive world that they need to be working on, but it doesn't seem like it's actually connected.
And Kevin Feige, who's been a movie producer, right? Which is, it's hard enough to put together a movie by yourself. He is now coordinating like the 3 branches of government for Marvel, right? Like all of their content goes through him. It ends with him. So he's like the big showrunner, and he's got no Bible, and then it's no coincidence that Russo comes out and says, these guys don't have a plan. And then he's like, we're going to map out the next 10 years. Right. Whatever.
Sure.
I mean, they could probably feel confident about it right now with the money that Doctor Strange is making, but I just don't see Marvel's doing as well. Call me crazy. I just don't think a movie with Captain Marvel and Maria Rambeau and Miss Marvel and the Blue Marvel getting a lot of attention. I could be wrong, but my review's coming out probably tomorrow, and Perry did a great job on it, so I won't say much more than the sling ring ruins the entire fucking movie, and then you can absolutely see that they dial back Doctor Strange. They prevent him from doing things because he's male, and they have to drive the story through 2 women. And I think there's either a written rule or an unwritten rule. If there is a white male a male on the screen, it needs to be balanced with minimum 2 to 3 females. And I think Black Panther proves that. Shang-Chi proves that. Fucking Doctor Strange proves that. Now, the only one that kind of bucks the trends is Moon Knight, but they made her a fucking superhero. And
it's true.
It's so cringe how they did it.
No, I think Moon Knight definitely proves that, because along with the main character, which is really one person, we're not talking about the personalities. One person, they balance that out with Layla to follow him around. Well, not follow, for him to follow her around the entire show. And then even when you go up to the god level, there's 2 female gods and 1 male god.
Yeah. And they leave out like the big male gods, like the ones who should be there.
You never see them.
And I was like, what?
Why? Why is that? Why did you bring in a hippo goddess that has nothing to do with shepherding the souls to the afterlife?
She's the opposite of death. She's quite literally the opposite of death. She is a life goddess. Okay, she protects mothers and children. She's not taking dead souls to be judged.
Such a stretch. It literally feels like whenever they sit down to write one of these stories, they go, okay, well, how many women can we fit into this?
Yes.
Regardless of it making sense. How many women? Well, okay, we're going to have a god. What god could it be? What are the female gods? Let me look at this list. Hippo. Oh, that could be silly. We can have her have like a strange little, kid voice almost. Let's do that.
That'd be fun. And then we'll have Mark and Steven be scared at the same time. Mark.
Yeah, a mercenary.
A mercenary who runs into danger and was like willing to blow his own head off at the end is scared from a little hippo in the doo-wop.
So silly.
And that's the thing. Like, what was Doctor Strange's through line? He was scared. He was scared to love, everyone. He's just too scared to love. That was Doctor Strange's journey through his own fucking movie.
Yeah, that was pretty lame, man.
It was so fucking lame. It was so fucking lame. And what was Mark's journey? He was a scared little boy who needed a safe space, so he created his own. And it sends the worst fucking message possible because what I got on Moon Knight, yeah, it's totally cool to have dissociative identity disorder. No problem. Yeah. You shouldn't even be judged.
Don't deal with your issues.
Don't get help or anything. Just live with it. You'll be fine. Fucking and it's still questionable on whether it's an actual disorder or not, by the way. So there's that. Although it's gone way up. Sydney Watson did a great video on this.
Yeah, I saw that.
TikTok. Really fucking good video on it. And thank God my son thinks TikTok is lame. It's like, what do you think of TikTok, kid? It's lame. I'm all, good boy. It's a good boy.
Raised you well.
Yes, it did. Yeah, but it's making tons of money. So yes, the MCU is here to stay for now. I'd say next couple of years. But as I've said before, Hollywood is where trends go to die. We're working off of trends from 2 years ago. So that's what Hollywood is still working off of. So maybe stuff going into production now will be a little different. Because outside of the MCU, all this stuff is just failing miserably, and we'll see how much of a massive failure Lord of the Rings is. Because I think that will kick cultural Hollywood in their metaphorical missing balls, if you know what I mean. That will be one that they feel pretty hard.
Gary, on that, and I know you're going to talk about it later, but I want to ask, will we even know that it failed? I mean, one of the things, that for years Hollywood has used this stupid marketing tool of it's the #1 movie in the world. It's the #1 movie in the box office. I mean, my mom, who pays no attention, she knows what the #1 movie is because it's a marketing tool of Hollywood, right? Mm-hmm. You're #1 at the box office, no matter how much money it makes, you're #1, right? And I kind of feel like in the age of streaming, we don't know what succeeds and what fails. And I think that's a terrible thing because one of the things is, and I'm comparing it to that marketing, is that it gets regular people to go, well, if it's a hit, I don't want to be left behind. I want to check it out. So if something tanks in streaming, we won't even know because the marketing is going to say otherwise. The marketing is going to lie to you, and it's going to say it's the #1 streaming series in the world. And they'll have some metric where they can say that, the most people in the world watched the first 5 minutes and then tuned out. But this is what I'm saying is, it could be a failure and we'd never know it because of the way that this data is kept secret. And what are your thoughts on that?
It's kept secret because the numbers are low. And they, for one, if they're a publicly traded company, they cannot lie. They can skew up, they can bolster, but they are not supposed to lie. Now, does that mean they don't lie? Of course they fucking lie. It looks like Netflix just got caught in one. They've been rounding up with their subscribers. And that means everybody's been rounding up with their subscribers. And I've heard like Amazon's $1 trillion company. They can just burn the money. They're for profit. They're not there to burn money. So they definitely cancel series. Otherwise, why would you ever cancel a series if you're Amazon? We should be on season 7 of The Tick right now. And why would you cancel The Expanse? It has a built-in fan base that's bigger than a lot of these shows that are still a built-in fan base that is bigger and much more passionate than Star Trek right now. And they canceled that. So
yeah, Amazon didn't get where they are now by burning money. So it's going to hurt them. Will they tell us that it hurt them? No.
Never.
But I can tell you,
and then hide that fact.
I can tell you that they're not happy with the reaction. They're absolutely not happy with the reaction. They're getting killed in the public. So the things that you, Joe and Jill Public, can do is in your spare time, because you're busy, just look and see if it's like naturally trending on social media. Not these fucking sponsored trends. Sponsored trends won't give numbers on the bottom of like how many tweets something is getting. You'll see that a lot with Batwoman when it was around. There would be a sponsored trend. You'll know. Star Trek, Picard, Discovery never ever trend. Ever. Because not that many people watch them. It's a really low number. And I mean low, on the low end of CW numbers, on the very low end.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, embarrassingly bad. Otherwise, they'd tell you. It's like they came out and like they even said Picard at one point was like the 8th most watched show on their fucking streaming service. And the streaming services, by the way, the most watched shows are old shows. Friends, Office, that's the stuff that still gets watched the most. So I don't know why they don't lean into fucking sitcoms. Like, they're cheap, and I that's the one thing.
Set up 3 cameras, get a laugh track going, and people, they eat that stuff up.
Yeah, but instead you put like $10 million an episode in, or even more, in the stuff that people just clearly aren't watching, and it's ruining it.
And then you alienate the people that would watch it. The people that would go watch it, you say that they're the toxic fans. Who are you advertising to here? And then you go out and you get influencers and pretend that they're the super fans.
Yep.
And you show them all the early stuff. And you get them into a video and you go, here's a script for you to read. It's all positive stuff about the show. Okay. So if you say anything negative, I'm going to have to cut that out.
If you're confident in your work, invite somebody who's been critical. Doesn't have to be me. Just invite 2 people who have been critical.
Right.
And see what happens. But they didn't. They invited the most friendly people. The Tolkien estate went out there, and they're bought and sold. And no, they aren't bought with money. They don't want money. These are Tolkien fans. They just want to. They got a trip to fucking London. They get to fly out to London. That's bought and fucking paid for. Yeah,
I guarantee they got per diem, which is kind of like it's like a day rate that you get paid, and it's also different. No, you get paid. It's supposed to be for like inconsequential expenses, like lunch, tips, whatever. And it varies by city. And when I used to go to junkets for G4, they'd send me off to do a junket for like The Tourist, starring Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie. That actually happened. Yes, I went to Paris for that, and they give you and they literally will give you an envelope of cash, and if you're in another country, it's that country's cash. It's just
how is that not bribery? How is that not bribery? Like, you invite reviewers over and you go, here's a wad of cash. It's not to say anything good about our show.
Exactly. But I was working for G4, so it's like my job was to cover those junkets, come up with dumb questions, and I mean, all I can say is Johnny Depp, coolest, nicest guy. You can tell the crew, you can tell like in the room, like what the crew thinks, and they love him, and he totally smelled like weed and was high.
Oh yeah.
So
nice. Well,
which is made me love him more.
He moved to France.
He
moved to France.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie is great. But anyways, what I'm saying is that they will fly you out. It's all expenses paid. They pick you up with a driver. It's like you're treated like a celebrity in a sense. I mean, I was being paid by G4, and that was my job to do that. And I wasn't the only one who did junkets. Allison Hayslip did stuff like that. But there is sort of if it's sort of baseline level, and then everything in the hotel room is free. So the mini bar, everything, it's just like, it's just charged every charge you just charge to the room, and then the company pays. So I guarantee Amazon, and while it's not said directly, you are effectively buying their positive coverage. That's true. It's across the board. It's for every junket. That's why you shouldn't pay attention or with any seriousness. And this happens a lot in like this happened recently with the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, the Star Wars thing. It's like people flew in. Not only were they, treated to this thing, they got a $6,000 experience for zero. So of course, how could they not love it? And there were a few things you could see, you could read between the lines how it was not great, but that's how you kind of buy the media. And
it's cheap. It's
cheap.
It's really so fucking cheap. Their credibility comes at an astonishingly low price. That's why I am forever fine watching it with my fellow plebs. We'll just watch it when the thing comes out. I'll let you know. I don't need to see that shit early ever. I don't care.
Well, I get into stuff early, Gary, as you know, like just because I'm here and I've been around the industry as a fucking old fossil, I'm just on these lists and I don't know how. So, but there's certain ones like Disney, I don't always get to go to stuff. I'm usually someone's plus one, but I know enough people like, which I'll be someone's plus one. I don't care. Having said that, I have to see a movie in a theater with a paying audience. That's the most honest reaction.
Yep.
It's the most honest reaction. So, on that note, I saw the new Top Gun. We can talk about it later. I don't want to derail the nooner. I don't feel, because when you asked me to do this, I was like, I just don't want to break the show. I don't want to ruin the show. I'm not Lofty Pixels. I don't want to ruin the show I'm on.
You're not. You're not. We don't go in directions. We just kind of talk for a couple of hours, and that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. Hey guys, stick to the script. You wrote a script for this.
Right.
Stop. Get on track.
I don't even write scripts for my videos. When I write scripts for my live streams.
But I'm really curious when this coverage of the seeing 20 minutes, which there's no reason they should have. First of all, why did they not see the entire episode? Why did they not see the first 3 episodes? The fact that they only showed them 20 minutes of clips tells something right there. The fact that they had to be flown in and not given a screener, they didn't need to be flown in. Here's your Amazon screener, backlink, whatever. Watch the 20 minutes, do a reaction video. And the fact that they're not reaching out to like the real sites, is telling to me, like, who are these curated people? And wasn't some other YouTuber, and Gary, I know you gave them credit, like did an investigation of like these other people's channels, and they're all like really small.
This brew.
Yeah. They're not. Yeah. This is manufactured.
They don't talk about Lord of the Rings. They had the right skin color. They had the right skin color. That was it. That's why they were picked. And they talk about books. One of them's a fucking Harry Potter TikToker.
That exists.
Harry Potter's like Lord of the Rings. They got wizards. That's who's making fucking Lord of the Rings right now.
Oh. Well, it's clearly the marketing department has an idea of how to sell this and buy positivity with normies. I don't think that kind of thing works on people like us or anyone watching. Because if you're watching this, you're probably someone who thinks a little more deeply about stuff like this, but with normies, that they're going after normies. They're not going after us.
No,
they're not going after hardcore fans or even people who know about Lord of the Rings, which I think is gonna, which I believe that is going to influence the opinions of others. Because when I do not profess to be a Lord of the Rings expert. I'm a fan of the movies. So I look to people who know more about it than myself, like you, Gary, to tell me, is this authentic? And it seems like it's not. But my concern is just the way that this stuff is sold. It's sold based on a lie, which is it's a hit, because I promise you they were already getting, like even with Doctor Strange, right? There was before Friday, there were like, there was a new trailer that just had the quotes, they've got those floating quotes in the air about how great it was, because they just got enough. They were taking social reactions from Twitter or from early reviews. And of course, just curating the positive stuff. And that's what's going to happen here. So I don't believe any of that stuff at all.
No. And I will get you to one. Here we go. What's this? Sean Gunner from the Tolkien Society, for which I am a member, and I forgot. I totally forgot I'm a member of the Tolkien Society. Paying member. I got a little card and everything. I found it when I was moving. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, shit. I'm a member of the Tolkien Society. Sell out. Gary's a sellout.
Show.
Oops. Fuck. I didn't want to put that.
They should have flown you out there. What the heck?
This is why Garrett's got to be doing these articles. Okay. I met with the team behind the Rings of Power. They love Tolkien. They love Tolkien. This is from the Tolkien Society. Okay. Last week, I was invited to London to get an exclusive glimpse at Amazon's forthcoming series, The Lord of the Rings of Power, which will premiere on Amazon on Friday 2nd September this year. So I just want to point out again that Hobbit Day is the 22nd. That's Bilbo and Frodo's birthday. And I do believe the day of the party in Lord of the Rings is Thursday. It's Thursday, September 22nd. This September 22nd here in 2022 is a Thursday. Like, why in the fuck wouldn't you release it on that day? Unless you didn't know. Unless you didn't fucking know. They want to release it on a Friday. Friday's a terrible day to release a TV show. It's a terrible day. That used to be, remember, Chris, back in the broadcast days, that used to be where, other than X-Files, that's where shows went to die. Like they would premiere your show that they just want to get rid of at 10 o'clock on Friday night, and it'll be the dead night.
Yeah.
But instead they do it on the anniversary of Tolkien's death, which I'm just not going to let go. It was an honor, you fucking Brits and your views, to represent the society, to have the sneak peek of the show. From the 20 minutes of footage I saw, it's clear that although the storylines are not exclusively Tolkien, the show has been created with a level of craftsmanship and attention to detail which is unparalleled. And I am not writing this off a script, and which is a love letter to the professor. Oh, no. Just like that. Remember when they said He-Man was going to be a love letter to He-Man fans?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Hey, has that Halo series, is that a love letter to Halo fans? Yeah. There you go. Famous last words. The homage to Tolkien includes, as we've seen from the trailer, Warrior Galadriel and Elrond and Gil-galad and other characters and locations familiar to us all. No Celeborn. He's still missing, Garrett. Celeborn is
still missing.
Still
if you have any information on this missing elf man, please send it to our emails. We need to find him.
His family is very worried about him, including Galadriel. Alongside the footage, I was able to meet the showrunners, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, co-writers of the Star Trek Beyond script, and that's it. That's all they've ever done.
A couple of random dudes.
Yep.
Like, they have no experience. They're not, like, they've only done one movie, and that movie wasn't good.
Yeah, I did not like Star Trek Beyond. And it's one of those things, to go back to an earlier thing I was talking about, there's a press release. I remember getting an early press release about Star Trek Beyond, and they were like, and it's just like one of the classic episodes of the original series. And then I started to see that language appear in every review and commentary. And it was just like, it's basically the publicists kind of seeding something in the heads of the weak-willed media and just getting them to repeat that. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and on that, on Sean Gunner's post on Twitter, you can't reply unless you're. It says,
oh no!
He cut off. Who can reply? People Sean Gunner mentioned can only reply. So your big promotion for Lord of the Rings, and you don't put replies on your tweet. What does that tell you? Well, I'll show that.
Kill the interactions.
I'll show that a little later. Holy shit! Oh yeah, yes, there's a Lord of the Rings video coming, folks. yeah. But Doctor Strange first. Doctor Strange review first. Where was I? Second paragraph, third paragraph. Alongside the footage, I was able to meet the showrunners, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, whose vision and passion is the driving force behind the show. What they are seeking to do is to fill in the gaps in Middle-earth, that expanse of the Second Age where we know very little of what happens. Fall of Numenor. It's little. Fall of Numenor. Oh, I'm sorry. Forging of the Rings of Power, Fall of Numenor, Lead Up, and the Battle of the Last Alliance. That is like the 3 basic bitch things from the Second Age that you could individually do multiple shows on. Fucking
No,
what?
we got to make up a bunch of new
Not much
characters and new
happens.
scenarios.
Yep, no.
Got to fill in those gaps.
I mean, like one of those events ended in Age. Not a big deal. Just very little.
Who cares?
It's not enough characters, too. Really, like, Tolkien. He just basically said, Second Age, shit happened. J.R.R. Tolkien. Peace.
I'm out.
I'm out. Why are... fucking motherfucking... Where was I? Second Age, where we know very little happens. They are going to provide us with the ideas of what could have happened. Well, obviously the racial genocide within all the other races. So the races within the races, there's some sort of genocide. Who commits that? I don't know. What was the world like in this time? Well, it was very different because it's over a period of 3,500 years. So it started out pretty bad because it was right after the War of Wrath. So everything was kind of spread out and a lot of people were kind of dead. But there you go. Who are the key people? Well, you mean hobbits, which we aren't supposed to mention, or wizards, which aren't supposed to be there. How about the key elves? Because there's a lot of elves in the Second Age doing a lot of elven things. There's a lot of Numenorians. Those are people doing a lot of things. And why did they want the Rings of Power? They didn't know they wanted the Rings of Power until they were made. And
You literally just watched the opening of Lord of the Rings.
yes,
It seems like these people have not even done that.
no,
Have not even watched the opening crawl of how the rings were formed, why they were formed, and what happened.
remember the super
it's
fan
simple.
who said, "Why are we fighting? Why is everybody
Why?
fighting?"
We're gonna find out why he made the rings. Like,
I don't know. Maybe you were too busy looking for your fucking disability in a fucking movie to identify with to actually listen to the story. Ah, my God. Nobody has astigmatism in Lord of the Rings. I can't identify with it at all. What was the world like at this time? Who are the key people, and why did they want the Rings of Power? Oh my God. This is a story and this is the fucking Tolkien Society. This is the Tolkien Society. This is a story which is familiar to us all in the Tolkien community. Good and evil, friendship and fellowship, and ultimately love and death. So you really don't want to tell us what this thing's about, do you?
no.
You really don't want to tell us about. Why go see the 20 minutes of footage if you're not going to tell us what's in the footage? Galadriel's in the footage. For decades, fans have wondered what was happening in Middle-earth during the Second Age. There were a lot of books.
Yeah, I think there's some books. I don't think we're wondering about what's going on.
Yeah, there might have been some gaps, but I wasn't like, gosh, dang it. I want to know what happened in I know what happened in the 16th. I was about to say 1600 years, but that's when that was the forging of the Rings of Power. So we'll say 2100. That was a king of Numenor. Or was it a queen? I can't remember.
And if I did want to know anything about,
I'd read the books.
In betweens, I would read Tolkien, and I'd want Tolkien to tell me, not two showrunners that have no experience.
But guess what? One of the books you would read, they don't have rights to. Okay. So for decades, fans have wondered what was happening, whether that be the life of a Numenorian or an Eregion. What the history of the hobbits before they suddenly pop up in the histories of Middle-earth, and who are the people in the south and the north and the east of Middle-earth. I like how they threw in the north and like later there, but you know what they wanted to say? They wanted to say diversity, and they didn't. Amazon has already confirmed the involvement and oversight from the Tolkien family in the Rings of Power. Okay, who are the descendants of Christopher Tolkien? Like, who are the grandkids, the great grandkids? Because these are the people in charge. Well, their interviews are out there. You can go find them. They seem like fine people. They don't seem like Christopher. We'll just say that. Like one of the dudes, I think worked like post-production or something in Hollywood for a minute. And it looked like he's like kind of a trust fund kid who got bored with his job that he was given in a year. That's the Tolkien estate right now. Not thinking they're the guardians of their grandfathers and fathers' legacy. Just saying. Might be going out on a limb. If you offer, I mean, you gave the Tolkien family $250 million. I'm guessing they're going to be on board. Oh my God, here's the word community too. Amazon has already confirmed the involvement of the Tolkien family in the Rings of Power, and this was repeated when we chatted in conversation. They were able to quote freely from both the appendices to the Lord of the Rings and the letters, which is very key, which I haven't heard before, that they're going to like put shit from the letters. So this
Did they buy the rights to those? Did they buy the rights to those?
Well, yeah, I think they did, because this deal is directly through the Tolkien estate. They circumvented the Saul Zaentz company, which means they cannot touch certain things. So the letters could be anything. So they could, and they'll go back and go, well, in this letter, they can twist this. I said that they're going to twist this in Amazon's favor as much as humanly possible, instead of, I don't know, buy the rights from Saul Zaentz and just adapt something properly. But no, it is very important for Amazon to use Tolkien as their platform, which they are doing, not to tell stories. And quickly, like, why is this shit important to us? Why is this all important to us? Narrative, story. Story is a thing that human beings invented thousands of years ago. Some guy, some gal invented the story, invented the narrative. And it is an instrumental part in our lives, right? The narrative, our life narrative, the news narrative, the fucking narrative, and our fake narrative. But it's all because of the advent of social media and big tech. It's all colliding, and it's becoming part of one narrative, which is very bad, by the way. Very, 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 very bad. So that's why we're like, hey, so these things that used to be innocent and fun, like fandom, have been corrupted, poisoned, diseased. They're now dying of cancer because of the narrative. The narrative that's being injected into Tolkien's very established narrative. And there's a beautiful innocence to Lord of the Rings. That's why so many people love it. And they're destroying that. They're pulverizing it. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Well, stories are so important to our to mankind because they're a way to teach people things. Like all the way back to when we were sitting around a campfire telling stories to each other. They're all stories about people doing stuff, how to overcome certain situations, what not to do, what to do. Imparting knowledge is what a story is. And I think these people, the narrative weavers now, they've taken that and they're manipulating it, they're corrupting it, they're using it to tell their stories, to mold our perception of what life is and what morality is. And like we've seen in so many stories these days, like WandaVision, we'll go back to that. The morality in WandaVision is so far off to what it should be. Like, they'll never know what you sacrifice. She enslaved thousands of people and I'm supposed to feel sorry for her? No, that's not what you're supposed to do. So that's what they've done now, is they're taking all of these properties that we love and they're just quintessential stories about hope or about bravery, about justice, and they're taking these stories and then making them perverted into these agenda-driven platforms, like you always say. They're using them as platforms and not a way to impart knowledge, and that's why we hate it. All the things that are happening right now. It's not just because it's bad, which is also a thing. I hate Star Wars because it's so bad these days, but it's also I hate it because it's lost the meaning behind Star Wars. The meaning of Star Wars is not laser fights. It's not explosions in space. It's not the Death Star. It's Luke Skywalker having the hope and the love enough for his father, even though his father is literally the worst person in the galaxy to his knowledge. He still has hope to bring him back. And you could see the juxtaposition of the original trilogy and Luke's hope of, I still can bring you back, literally up to the point where I will throw away my life to not turn to the dark side because I believe he will come back. And if he doesn't, I'm not going to turn to the dark side myself. You juxtapose that to the current movies where all I do is I have a vision of maybe my nephew goes to the dark side and I'll pop my lightsaber out while he's sleeping.
Yeah.
No way. So that's what you can see, that these stories now are so agenda driven and diluted. And that's why we all hate it. That's why we fight against it.
Exactly. And they hate what came. So you're literally putting people on, like Ta-Nehisi Coates was writing Captain America for a while.
Yep.
Like he hates Captain America. Why would you do that? He's writing a Superman script right now. He fucking hates Superman. He hates everything about this country. Why would you do that? Why would like that? Like, and yeah, Jar Jar Abrams comes out there all innocent, and here's a couple of disciples doing the same fucking thing that every Jar Jar Abrams disciple and he has done. Yep. They're doing the same thing. They're going to soft reboot of Lord of the Rings with the female fucking Hobbit. That's what they're doing. And they're getting you all prepared. But like, I mean, if there are any Randall Carlson fans out there, how important stories are. Okay, so in Plato's account of Atlantis, they talk about the myth of Phaeton, right? And in that myth, the Egyptians priests, this is historical by the way, say no, this is myth, but it's based on something real. And the myth of Phaeton is he meets his dad, who's like the sun god, and he wants to ride his chariot, and the god has to keep his promise. He offered him any boon. And then his son went, yeah, I want to ride your chariot. And he's like, oh, no, you don't want to do that. You really don't want to do it. But he had to because he promised. And then he dies. But it's the story of a comet. They believe it's a story of a comet either flying by the earth or hitting the earth. And that's how it was told back then. It was told through myth. There's a lot of people who think a lot of the myths are based on some form of historical, either a calamity or it's an allegory. And I think there's something to it. It's really cool. But that's how important storytelling is. Like through religious texts, how much history have we learned through multiple religious texts? So, and it's how you craft the narrative. And of course, history is always written by the victors. And right now we have, to quote our boy Alex Jones, we got an information war going on right now. And it's going on through every facet of our fucking lives, including vandalizing, like really say they don't give a shit. They will fucking shit this show out and move on and not care. The thing is, we got to make them care. Make them fucking care or get the fuck out. That's it. And it's too important to just walk away from and black pill and not listen. And like that shit never works. Retreat doesn't work. Appeasement doesn't work. If this wasn't so fucking influential in everybody's lives, I would say fuck it too, but we can't.
Yeah. That is the message of Lord of the Rings. The whole message of that is to not black pill, to never give up, even in the face of massive odds against you. Never. Like they gave it to a hobbit. They gave the one ring to a hobbit and he went off by himself. And they still had hope. Even at the last day when they were up there, Aragorn's like, no, I still believe he's out there. I still believe he's there. I'm not blackpilling. And he ran in there. And, it worked out for him.
Sorry, Gary. Just can we just get some hopeful stories?
Please.
That's what this is. This is like the ultimate hopeful story. And they want to fuck it.
Well, and this is why, like, Luke Skywalker, I guess, is freaking Lucasfilm seems to hate that character.
They really do.
And I've posted many times, like, they should just make The Adventures of Luke Skywalker. That's the series we want to see. What happened to Luke after Return of the Jedi? What were some of his adventures, right? Like, they've thrown him in as a key jangling thing, in Mandalorian and Boba Fett, and it's lame. It's just do a Luke Skywalker show, it's ridiculous. And people forget the 70s was a dark time, and we are going through a dark time right now.
It's
I
very
believe in
much
our
like
history.
the 70s.
This is the darkest time in our history that I've personally lived through. I mean, in the 70s, I was a kid. A lot of that stuff was kind of kept from me, but like, look, the 70s was a dark time in history,
the entire decade, like from beginning to end, it was not good.
Yeah, and when you even look at the movies that were put out then, I mean, it was, first of all, to me, a great era for American filmmaking.
Yep.
And a lot of people like Scorsese, Lucas, Spielberg, they rose in the 70s, which was awesome. But like, it was a dark time.
Dude, cities look like shit. Like cities were like every downtown looked like fucking shit. There was smoke belching
That's
everywhere.
where we're going now.
There was fucking trash everywhere, crime everywhere. Like the Warriors.
What does that remind you of?
You see the Warriors, you think it's like a fucking cartoon, and like, yes, it's dramatized. It's heavily dramatized, but there were fucking crazy ass fucking gangs running around freely, killing each other, no problem. Like,
well,
and
LA
and disco.
LA's like that now. Yeah,
disco, man.
LA, you should just look up on YouTube now, but later. Look up on YouTube, like Melrose Avenue crime. There are crimes in broad daylight. I mean, Melrose Avenue is sort of like the hipster area of LA, sort of like central LA between like Fairfax and like La Brea. Golden Apple Comics was there.
Yep.
Lots of cool like restaurants, bars, clothing stores, very hipstery stuff. Not a lot of stuff that I'm into, but Golden Apple Comics was great. But like, it's a crime-ridden place, and you'll see there's tons of videos of people like in the middle of the day being robbed. And also, the last time I walked down the street there, it's just riddled with, and I perfectly respect the right of anyone. Weed should be legal on a national scale. It should but do we have to smoke it on the street where everyone can smell it? It's just, I can't imagine, because my kids were young, and we had like a little place like off of Melrose Avenue back in the day. And I can't imagine now, like walking with my kids down that street or going to the comic book store with my young children.
It's crazy that's dangerous. That Melrose Avenue is dangerous now. Like
it's a dangerous area, like crime, and then the tent cities, and just like it's just weird. It's like third world country, like the wealthiest of the wealthy in Beverly Hills and parts of Sunset and other things, and then pockets, and then you go to just garbage humans on the street, just sitting there smoking weed, open drug market, just everywhere. It's just, LA is a shit show. Now I am nestled in Pasadena, just outside of that nonsense, and it hasn't really hit here,
It will. If it hit Melrose, dude. Yeah. If it hit Melrose, it's gonna hit there. Yeah, that's.
I don't think Pasadena is gonna tolerate that shit. I just don't think
it's all blue. It's all blue. They're gonna tolerate it all. Trust me.
True.
Unless it gets up in the Beverly Hills. Also, a woman got murdered.
That's whenever they're gonna.
A woman got.
It already is.
Yeah, that like a
home robberies.
Yeah, home invasions are way up there, and they were nuts in San Francisco. Like that was one of the major factors. Like.
There's your Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, I was home.
got.
My neighbor was home invaded when I was on a fucking live stream in San Francisco. Yes, I come out and there's cops fucking everywhere, and he had an iron gate over his door, and I didn't. My door was on. I had a single family home, but the house was above the garage, so it's like a really fucking old house. So you had to walk up the steps to get to my front door. But not this guy. So they decided, instead of walking up the steps, to get a crowbar and fucking open up his cage door. Asian guy. That's the only thing I could think of. It was an Asian guy. He was a consulate for the Chinese. Drove Teslas. Yeah, had a lot of nice shit. And I think somebody noticed. And I walk out and there's cops everywhere. I'm like, oh, what happened? And they're like, home invasion. I'm all, wow, that's like the fourth one on this street in a month. And they're all, I know. And I'm like, Okay. Thanks.
Wow.
Way to go.
That's the worst. I just, but my whole point to circle back to my original point, it was George Lucas looked around and said there are no modern fairy tales for children. Children have no heroes to look up to that espouse good values, and that's why he created Star Wars, was for kids to have heroes to look up to. That it stood out against I feel like we've almost played out like it's dark. This is dark. It's like, yeah, everything's freaking dark. Batman's dark. Everything is dark. Doctor Strange's dark. I get it. And I like dark stuff. I like it. But at a certain point, can we have something that just reeks of positivity and optimism? I mean, optimism is dead. And who knows, my tweet about optimism being dead may get edited by the Ministry of Misinformation. I don't know if you saw that video that leaked where it's did. That new chick wants to
edit tweets.
How is this person qualified? And the thing is this, I don't blame her so much. She's a moron. That dude that hired her is an idiot. He thinks, well, I don't know anything about social media. This stuff confuses me. She's on TikTok and gets it. And how embarrassing that person is hired. And I don't even blame Gavin Newsom. He's a fucking political shill. He's owned by all the special interests that give him money. Yeah. Most prominently the medical industry and big pharma. That's just sort of like, it's obvious. The French Laundry wasn't some friend's birthday party. He was there with big pharma folks.
His dad
not wearing a mask. They're laughing amongst themselves. I don't want to get
his dad was a lawyer for the Getty family, and his dad bought him a business, by the way, that was absolutely didn't get affected by COVID at all. Amazingly enough. So weird. He is the quintessential corrupt politician that has nice hair, and people call him Daddy Gavin because there's a bunch of fucking retards in California. But we'll get back to this.
But my point about him is I don't even blame Gavin, because it's sort of like a snake is a snake. You're going to be upset with a snake when it bites you. Snakes bite, right? But here's who I'm most upset with. Our local media. I used to read the LA Weekly.
The people voting him in. That's who I'm upset with. They know what they're getting. The voters. That's it. The voters are to blame. The voters can go out and get informed. I'm tired of this uninformed shit. Fuck that. I'm going to go get informed. What's the one lesson we've learned over the last fucking 2 years? That we've been asleep at the fucking wheel. This is on us. This is on us. We need to do more to keep dicks like Gavin Newsom and stop being lazy at the fucking voting. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
They've infiltrated everything. We turned our back. We turned a blind eye to the fucking education, to every system, to Hollywood. We walked away. Look what happened. We got to take responsibility. I'll take responsibility. And when I go to vote, I'm going to know everything about motherfucker who's lording over me. I want to know where they walk their fucking dog. Everything. I want to know absolutely everything about them. And it's got to be, they have to have the interest in like my general area first and this country first, period. And anything other than that, fuck that. I'm not fucking voting for him. I'm not going to be some lazy. I'm not just going to blow. Daddy Gavin's got nice fucking hair. So fucking what? He used to be married to Kimberly Guilfoyle, right? To tell you how fucking incestuous this whole fucking thing is, Kimberly Guilfoyle, who's on Fox News, who's with Donald Trump Jr. right now. My wife used to know her. Used to fucking do her hair. She used to be married to fucking Gavin Newsom. So like that, like, the guy's got no soul. He's got no fucking position. He's a fucking tool. Fuck that guy. We need, like, those people are killing our country.
Well, Gary, let's not make fun of everyone with great hair. Just as someone myself I've been blessed with some pretty awesome hair.
Yes.
You'll see it on
Fuck you.
Film Threat live. You'll see it on the Film Threat live stream later tonight. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different movies, including Top Gun. But two things. I don't blame Gavin Newsom. He's a moron, right? Low information voters is a huge problem. But the other thing is our media has abandoned the people. The LA Times is just a shill for whatever the narrative and a shill for Gavin Newsom. And the LA Weekly, which I used to love, every city had its own alternative weekly, right? In Detroit, it was like the Metro Times and Orbit magazine. Every city kind of had there's one in Atlanta called Loafing the Donkey, or no, Creative Loafing that's another one. Like I used to get these because I loved alternative press, right? A Film Threat came from alternative press. And so I look at the LA Weekly, which would write like really great investigative journalistic stories that broke shit open. None of that exists now. Journalists are lazy and bought off, and it's because it doesn't pay to be
They're bloggers.
And so it doesn't pay, number one.
No.
And number two, it's just so easy to find someone who, you know, can just be manipulated. It's unbelievable to me that like I will watch Gavin Newsom press conferences. And I'm like, if I was there, I know the questions I would ask. I would ask very pointed questions, and none of those questions are asked. They're all pandering, or with regard to the French Laundry criticism, it's like that's sort of, these are like softballs where no one questions it. And I'm looking like, I grew up, and I know Gary, you're Gen X like myself, question everything. That's a motto for life.
Yeah.
And for some reason, and no disrespect to Garrett, who I assume is a millennial, where did it become cool to just be, you know, just comply to everything and just sort of, you know, comply to the mainstream? Garrett, I know you're not like that.
That's
I don't know. I've always
and
not
just to
liked my
defend millennials
I don't like them.
a little bit on this one. Gen X are the biggest fucking sellouts out there.
Yeah. Well,
all the rebels, all the fucking rebels who are just sucking state cock right now. It's disappointing.
Yeah,
it's disappointing.
Flipped right over.
Yeah,
but it's concerning whenever you see even the independent, like you were saying, going into these places, and you don't hear any other voice, any other opinion. Like back in the day, I remember there was all kinds of different opinions. There was the mainstream opinion. There was an alternate right version of that. There was a left version of that. Then you'd have the independent kind of go against all of those at the same time. Now it's every single outlet is in a single direction. It's that meme. Yes. I hope you've seen that meme where it's the politician on stage, the media yelling at the politician with all of the people behind it. And now it's flipped where the politician is yelling at the people and the media is also yelling at the people. So it's like you can't even trust the media.
No.
Like you're saying, to be on our side. And that is literally their job. That's why they have the freedom of the press, is for the people. But now they've used the press as a big political arm and propaganda arm to just bolster.
And they haven't been on our side for years. It's time to wake up to that. Okay. Yeah. It's not like this is new. This is a couple of decades old. You know, glad to see people are coming around now that it's in the 11th hour of our society. And we're getting into like some pretty serious stuff. I'm not going to go. That's fucking nuts, man. Like people don't know what a civil war looks like. Then they just don't know. Although Star Trek said that January 6th was the second Civil War, which I'm going to cover someday. No. We'll talk about that someday. We can't talk about it today though. Back to Tolkien though, this is all part of this, and this is our one little way we can fight back. We can help. This show is going to destroy Tolkien. It is unquestionable at this point, and I'll just say, based on what I know, it's you'll have to wait and see, and trust me for now. But I'll talk about it very soon. We'll just say I'll be able to talk about it very, very soon, where we can discuss some deets. Let me get back to where the fuck was it? So we're almost done here anyway. As chair of the Tolkien, why would you talk about Tolkien's grave? Amazon have already confirmed the involvement and the oversight of the Tolkien family in the Rings of Power, and this was repeated when we chatted in conversation. They were able to quote freely from both the appendices to the Lord of the Rings and the letters, and even mention visiting Tolkien's grave at Wolvercote Cemetery. As people in the Tolkien community will know, this is a level of commitment and interest that can't be simply be faked. So although they are even if they are committed, I know a lot of very committed ideological scientists and doctors. I think we saw them over the last couple of years. Committed. Are you committed to the message, your message, or Tolkien's? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
So although they are filling in the gaps in the histories of Arda, which is Middle Earth, by the way, it's the Elven word for it, we can be assured that they are doing this with love. Oh, really? So the Tolkien Society, who was flown out to London, shown 20 minutes of the film and had a chat, I'm assured. Okay, give me a quote. Give me a quote where they go, nope, we're all your fears, you guys are totally blowing this out of proportion. We're going word for word where we can. There will be nothing that will betray Tolkien's message. We are here to adapt Tolkien. I haven't heard that yet. I mean, Peter Jackson said it over and over again. I haven't heard this fucking once from these clowns. They haven't even done like a public interview, like a real public interview. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange?
Very strange.
So with love, care, and affection, and with the attention to detail that comes from the involvement of the Tolkien estate. You mean the one that had Christopher Tolkien, who was preventing them from moving forward with production, and it only did after he died? That Tolkien estate? Okay.
That's the one.
As chair of the Tolkien Society, the same Tolkien Society that talked about transgenderism in Gondor last year. That Tolkien Society. I am actually aware of what drives so many people to be inspired by Tolkien's works. In the world created with depth and devotion, with a wealth of characters that touch people's hearts. Speaking with the showrunners, I am convinced that they are the right people to adapt Tolkien's works, and if the entire community of Tolkien fans heard my conversations with them, I'm sure they would reach the same conclusion. But you're not going to share any of that conversation. We're just supposed to take your word, Mr. Tolkien Society, who was bought and paid for over a year ago. I loved what I heard from them, and I am bought into their vision and dedication. That's the way it's written. But I don't want to love what I hear. I want to love what I see on screen. I know not all Tolkien readers will agree with the creative decisions the team will make.
You just said that we would all come to that same conclusion, but then said that we wouldn't.
But I am looking forward to to September with the hope and anticipation that we will see a TV show that we can all fall in love with, myself included. Okay. Rest will be in my video.
I think one of the most important things these days is to learn media literacy. Media literacy is the form of literacy of reading something like that and being able to decipher the message behind that. All of that was, it's going to be great. Trust me, it's going to be great. You are going to love it. It's going to be great. That was all it was. There was no actual information in there. Trust me.
Yeah.
I am your conduit to knowledge and truth. Trust me, it's going to be good.
Garrett, you're so dead on. When I was in college, we used to call it just become aware. Basically, just know that all the mainstream media is bullshit, and you should question all of it.
Yep.
And media literacy is a thing. It just what it is. It's sort of like those glasses in that movie They Live. Once you put those glasses on, you can't take them off. You can't unsee the world with those They Live glasses. That's what media literacy is, put simply. You know.
Here it is. Here. Okay, Mr. Tolkien Society Chair. Amazon invited me to meet with the team behind LOTR and Prime. I fell in love with their vision. I know. I need to see that on screen. Check out my thoughts on the Tolkien Society website. So what does he do? Shuts down fucking comments. And then somebody comes out, dude, what makes you think you know better than the chair of the Tolkien Society about whatever this show will be faithful to Tolkien's work? Did you see the 20 minutes? Did you speak to the showrunner? Are you an expert fan? Don't buy into the shill nonsense. They were flown out to London and shown 20 minutes. And then told us fucking nothing except that we love it. This is Shill 101.
Yep.
Chris just finished explaining what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't say it. I'm just gonna say, maybe some non-chills have seen it. Ba-da-ba-ba-dum-bum. Or I don't know. Do I feel seen? Do you feel seen, Quarter Black? Do you feel seen,
No.
Chris Gore? I don't know if seen's the right word. I don't know if seen's the right word. We'll just say we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
We'll just put it right there.
Just put it right there. I'm gonna read some super chats and we're gonna talk about Doctor Who. Super duper 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 duper. Here we go. Fucking A, man. Matthew Hammond for $5 is on donation side. Thank you for circumventing Mama Susan. Could we get Chris Gore to recommend a movie everyone watch and then you all discuss it in the week? That I think that would like a book club for movies. That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
I've had some recommendations on the show. I don't know. It's like it has to be available for people to see, right? Like it's got to be wide. So probably something on VOD. I'll think of something. I mean, the one I've recommended, which is one of my favorite movies of this year, is RRR. RRR, The Northman, and Top Gun are like my favorites of this year.
So Top Gun is like a big thumbs up, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's what's funny, Gary. If I told you that there was a character that had pronouns in their call sign, if I told you that there was a strong female that kind of saves Tom Cruise and kind of schools him, you would believe me.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to report that none of that is true.
Oh, God. Thank God.
You had me there.
Like if I said that, you'd go, "Oh yeah, that's
No,
this
that's what I
movie
expect."
Is like I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to derail what we're discussing right now. But like Top Gun is like a movie that was made in a time capsule like 20 years ago. It's a perfect follow up to the 80s version, which is
I'm seeing it early.
I'm gonna go see it, man.
On Top Gun Tuesday. I think it's still you might be able to get tickets.
Yeah, you can get tickets to it early. Dude, and it's like, and I don't want to ruin too much, but it's heavily influenced by Star Wars in the most cool way that I don't want to. And you need to see it IMAX or a Dolby Digital. Those are like the only two ways to see it.
Oh yeah, I bet the sound design is great.
The sound design, insane. There's a little behind the scenes making of that talks about like how they did the effects. It's the director from Tron Legacy. So it's
oh, wait a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. Influenced by Star Wars.
In a good way. In a good way.
No. I know it, but I don't want to like just blast out what I'm thinking right now. Here, I'll put in the private chat. I'll put in the private chat. Hang on.
Okay, it's in the best way. Like Tom, it's like it's great. Like, and I'm thinking like I'm looking at this, and if Luke Skywalker was treated with the respect that Tom Cruise's character Maverick is treated,
and you can totally answer this question. I will not blurt it out. Okay,
but it's
there we go.
It's just I'm dying to see it again. I already have tickets to see it again
because it won't affect my like. I just that's the first thing I thought of. That's like when you said that. I'm like, okay. All right, I can't wait to see it. I'm like, it looked fun. It looked fun. So
it's fun. It's funny. It's also like it's very it's filled with masculine energy. Like it's just like you. And it's
there's a volleyball scene.
There's a volleyball.
Is there a topless female? That's what I wanted, a topless female body volleyball scene.
Equality,
because
man.
Equality.
It's just there's a lot of really good-looking people in it, and they're half naked at times. What can you say? But like, it feels like this movie was made at a different time where people really love movies and love storytelling, and it's like one of those things. Like the audience I saw it with is just like free. It's like those kind of moments we don't get in movies very often, where you're like there's like this big wind up, build up, and just like yes, like when stuff happens.
Sleeper hit of the summer. You think?
I think so. I mean, some have even said like that this could be Oscar worthy. Like. Just like, and cool. I always feel like
if Tom it's Cruise good right now, it's Oscar worthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
do you think it's bringing the industry back from the dead, like Tom Cruise was saying back, like that whole rant was on the set of Top Gun. It was
No,
we are
it-
going
it-
to
Mission
save
Impossible.
the industry.
Mission Impossible. It was Mission Impossible.
yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, that's right. Did that
27.
movie come out? Yeah,
But
it's not out
this
yet.
movie,
It's coming
must
out
have-
soon.
I believe that Top Gun was shot in 2018, 2019, because it was supposed to come out summer of 2020. It's been delayed for 2 years.
Yep.
The release because of,
Wow.
current days. But it's like the movie we need. Like, it's just so hopeful and fun and like filled with like life lessons and all the things. And I look at like Tom Cruise's character, and I say this a lot, like, because the Star Wars sequels to me is the greatest missed opportunity in movie history. It should have been an unqualified hit. We should be talking about great moments and quoting it now. We're not, we're
No.
still like,
And remember,
living-
that thing made $2 billion. That's what Doctor Strange 2 is, Force Awakens. It's like, it's this hollow, empty thing
Mhm.
that jangles a bunch of keys that's going to get normies. But like the MCU is going through their Disney trilogy phase right now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's going to fall flat on its face.
Yes, it is.
And it is. It's just I don't think that people have noticed it yet. But Top Gun is just like, dude, it's like a movie from a different era. It's why we love movies, because this is not a movie you want to see at home. Not even if you have like a big projection system, which I do have a projector myself. I know, Gary, you have one. Like, it's great. You got to see it in a movie theater where you just shake, right? And there's just so many great moments. I want to go on and on about it, but
No,
That's great to hear.
When we get closer to the time, which is a couple weeks, right? And I'm going to see it on Top Gun Tuesday. About me and the missus tickets.
yeah.
Because like we saw that movie when we were teenagers. It's so weird, like seeing it like the sequel in our 50s. It's so bizarre.
And Jennifer Connelly's in it, and she is so smoking hot. I mean, she's her age, right? She's in her 50s, but she's like aged naturally in a way you're like, oh
Like
man,
Susanna Hoffs,
and
unlike Madonna.
yeah, I mean, it's just
Gracefully.
exactly. Like Madonna looks like
She looks
like a fish, but like
she looks like she got like domestically abused. She got, like,
yeah, and
like
it's just like
yeah.
yeah, she does. Like, but like, God, Jennifer Connelly, you're like, oh my God. Like, it's just everything about this movie is just like they got like right from the opening, the music. I'm getting chills thinking about it. I'm probably gonna see it a couple more times. In fact, after the screening, I messaged Ryan Cannell. I said, dude, go see it right away. You can't miss this in a theater, IMAX, because I want to see like what someone military thinks. Like, my son will even point out, like, because he's a Marine, he'll point out like, oh, they got that wrong, or that's bullshit. No one will really act that way, or like whatever. I'm sure there's stuff.
We liked it in San Diego because it was filmed in San Diego. Like a bunch of it was. So
Yeah.
like, you could see him like riding his motorcycle up to Oceanside, and the house is right on the beach in Oceanside. So yeah, and yeah, Tom Cruise is fucking short. We all know he's a little. He's
You're
a
gonna-
little guy.
manlet.
You're gonna recognize a lot of places in it. I can't wait. It's actually, I mean, even though it isn't necessarily genre per se, it's a big summer movie, and I hope you guys talk about it on FNT. Because I think it's worth discussing.
I saw Tom Cruise when he walked through Comic-Con that one time. Remember? Were you there when he walked the
I don't
floor?
know.
Yeah. Well, him and his
No,
bodyguards, like what? Yeah.
They hold him up on their shoulders.
Well, that's how
Head
short he
height.
is. That's how you saw how short he is, like 5'7", my ass. It's like Worthington. We were talking about him yesterday. It's like I met him in a bar. It's like, that guy ain't 5'8". That guy ain't fucking 5'8". He barely came to my shoulder. And I'm not like 6'10". I'm not like X-Ray Girl. X-Ray Girl. Motorlicious for $5 says Disney should ask Tibet if appeasing to China is a good idea. The country of Tibet, Motorlicious. Thank you for the $5 circumventing Susan. Bubba Doom for $5 says this is a great conversation. I had to pull my truck over and let you fellas know this is great. Not going to watch The Searchers. Love you guys. We love you too. Thank you, Bubba Doom.
Stay safe.
Drive safe. By the way, hail truckers. Hail to the truckers. Again, thank you for some of our rights returning, because it was all because of you guys. You guys made Trudeau look very, very bad.
Yep.
Made the state look very, very bad with your bouncy castles and your having fun protests that looked like I almost wanted to go. I had FOMO from that protest. It looked fucking great. That was exactly how you do it. I hope we could pull that off here.
Yeah. Just reminding everybody how important you are.
Freedom is
to just how we function.
And how the state can't fight fun. Like
Yeah.
if you're out there having fun and smiling and not getting angry and not burning shit down, they can't. Like Trudeau didn't know what
the
the
sheriff of
fucking
Nottingham,
do.
like,
So
cancel Christmas.
He did. He went full sheriff of Nottingham and he canceled fucking bank accounts, and like even like EU people were calling him out.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Canadian truckers. We're eternally grateful. Hell. And all truckers, by the way. You guys are rad. And gals. There's gals out there too. Like truck Apple Emmy's Minion and Truck Dog. Usually I give Truck Dog top billing. Test site for $5. Even if you don't, I still love the show. But you can you please publish a sword and sorcery cyberpunk 80s graphic novel? I'd love to. But I'd have to write it, and I couldn't YouTube. If I was to do a comic book, I'd have to quit YouTubing. And hopefully I'm sure somebody is. There's some good independent stuff out there that's already being done. Like if you go run around Indiegogo a little bit. I opened up my McFarlane. I was thinking Indiegogo, the Kickstarter Spawn figures. Holy fuck, they're rad. I've had them for like months, but because of the move. They're fucking rad. For how much I paid for those, I think I only paid like
every once in a while,
a couple of $100, dude. They're fucking rad, and you get like a signed certificate from Todd. And you get like little pieces, and I got 3 different versions. It's fucking cool as hell, and he's gonna do another one too. That's how you do it, man. Make the promise.
A lot of people don't like it whenever more established people get into the like Indiegogo or the Kickstarters. I kind of like it because you usually get the product that
you got the guy who
that you backed.
They are rad. Wow. If a tree falls in the forest and no one sees it, has it really fallen? If a Lord of the Rings show comes out and no one watches it, did it really come out? Michael Storm? No. And I highly recommend. This is my unsolicited advice for all Star Wars fans, prequel fans, right? This is my heart going out to the prequel fans. I'm not the biggest fan of the prequels. They're better than Disney trilogy, but I'm not like a prequel super fan like Ryan. Don't watch Kenobi. Don't do what I did when I watched the Disney trilogy and it completely fucked my enjoyment of the original trilogy. And you go, well, you can forget. No, you can't forget about this stuff. Don't watch it. Just don't watch it. You're going to be tempted. You're going to want to do it. Yeah, I love Star Wars. It's Star Wars. No, because you will walk away from that fucking hating your prequels. And you love your prequels, don't you? If you want to preserve your love for the prequels, not give a bunch of fucking groomers money, don't watch Kenobi. Just don't watch it. Don't give it any attention at all. This is the only way this stuff changes. There's a point where we can shout it out, call it out. There's going to be, like, if you're a content creator, absolutely point out inconsistencies, the bullshit, like, and tell people exactly why you don't want to see this. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see Obi-Wan get cucked in his own fucking show.
You can already tell it from the trailers. Just the trailers alone, you're like, oh, this isn't about Kenobi. This is about, and this is the thing. I think they're overplaying their hand. Like with regard to villains, look at Darth Vader in the first Star Wars movie. Which some call A New Hope. I call it Star Wars. He doesn't have a lot of screen time. And that's why he's a badass. Boba Fett, not a lot of screen time. The villains, if you look at like classic films, the villains don't have, and that's part of what makes them so, because the threat is ever present, even in scenes that bad guys aren't in. The threat is there, and I think that's what makes these modern day villains so non-threatening. That's why Wanda is so, I don't know. It's like, really, we had to like get a Wanda season 2 in my Doctor Strange movie. It makes no sense. It's unnecessary.
It makes all the sense of the world.
It still didn't feel earned.
It makes all the sense in the world if you see it through the lens of the MCU. The MCU is the most important thing to them. Kevin Feige needs more female characters and villains and heroes. They don't even know how to construct a hero anymore.
But why? This is saying, my big question to him would be, why do you need that? Are you looking at the market and going, who are the majority of people that love these properties, right? And then why do they like them? And I will say, I've said it before many times. The reason there are a lot of female fans is because there's hot dudes. Are they going to be excited about seeing Brie Larson
No.
head up a team of
in her flat ass?
superheroes?
No,
I don't know that that's that appealing. I think, you know,
Spider-Man No Way Home and the cameo rumors are what fueled this film, period.
Yeah.
And it moves and it's got a lot of pretty colors, but that's what fueled this film. And that's why they reshot a bunch of it, because it was testing very, very poorly because the cameos weren't in it. They just weren't there. And it was just about Wanda and Doctor Strange, and that wasn't enough to push the movie because WandaVision didn't get watched by that many people, relatively. More people watch the movies than watch the TV shows. So, why did they do it? MCU. It's their motive. Victoria Alonso repeats it over and over again. Kevin Feige. I need to put this in the video, but Kevin Feige called Doctor Strange just another white guy. That tells you everything you need to know. I made an entire video on what the MCU is. You can go watch it or just watch my review. Like I said, don't waste your time. Like, I bought tickets to the Northman. I would say go see the Northman. Go see the Northman this weekend. Fucking skip Doctor Strange. Go see the Northman. And it sounds like Top Gun's going to be pretty good. So we can see Top Gun later. And that's in a couple weeks. It's in a couple weeks. By the way, Top Gun will probably blow Doctor Strange away. So Doctor Strange will probably, I don't know if it's going to have like the usual.
You don't think it's going to have legs?
The 68. I don't know if it's going to have the 68 to 70% drop that most Marvel movies have. Like most of them have them nowadays. Even Ragnarok had a huge drop. Still did well. Still did very well because of international numbers. But the way they released it, because they've released it mostly internationally first. So there's not many countries for it to open up in now. They're not getting China. So this is kind of it. Still very impressive. $500 million. Fucking impressive. You can't doubt that for a minute. But will it have legs? Probably not. Fucking what did Grace say? She said I don't agree with Grace. Grace says 45-day window this thing's going to Disney Plus. I don't know about that. Not with a $500 million opening. I just can't see that.
They got to push it.
That would be insane.
They got to pretend at least that it was
that happens, holy shit, that would be a drop. And I can't see that happening. But Top Gun comes out in 13 days.
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange has 13 days. And it'll start dipping. Because I think Top Gun might steal the show.
I'm really curious to see what the criticisms of Top Gun are going to be. Is it going to be it's too
jingoism,
it's nationalistic? Is it too patriotic? And that's a criticism and a negativity. I mean, it is that, but not to an over, a degree that is, I don't know, just seems like propaganda. It's I mean, it's a really fun human story at the heart of like a action movie, like an amazing action movie.
Well, yeah, the practical way they shot with the fucking jets is fucking awesome. It's really awesome.
Crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. And I'm like, I just can't wait for someone to be able to talk to you guys about it. Like, and just because you're seeing it next week, right, Gary? Like,
see on 24th. Yeah. Top Gun Tuesday.
Okay, great. Okay. You'll see it the next. Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. And
awesome.
I think tickets are still available. If you just, all you have to do is like Google Top Gun Tuesday. And because that's what I did. And there's plenty of tickets still available. So, okay. Gary, estimates say 50% of pineapples now have large amounts of cocaine in them via smuggling. Oh, shit. I can't eat them then. Does that change your pineapple for pizza for you? Google it. Andrew Clark for $5. Yeah, I can't. I mean, no, I don't want to risk relapsing. No.
That's where they cut it open and they hollow it out, put all the cocaine inside.
They have been, like, if I ever get, like, God forbid, I ever get, like, really hurt, they're not supposed to give me pain medication.
Yeah.
No way. I'll just live with it. If it's survivable, I'll just grit it out. That's why it makes, appointments to the dentist. Like, I'll do the Novocaine thing, but I won't do anything other than Advil after that or a leave. Nerdrotic is a passionate dude, says Lizardic for $1.99. Sometimes I am. Amen, Gary says Gunstar 1 for $9.99. Thank you. Sid the Magi for $5 says, we want a bright and positive movie. We need Superman the movie like Dick Donner made. Absolutely. That's the world needs that so bad right now. I always bring this up, but Spider-Man, the reason it was such a massive hit, it was a good movie, but it was also one of the most well-timed movies because it was right after 9/11 and the country just needed to have fun. And it was like the first thing that it began the quote unquote healing before we went completely insane and created Patriot Acts and shit like that. But
that's what we need again. We need that again.
Yeah.
Something fun, something hopeful, something uplifting.
Lord of the Rings could have been that. Lord of the Rings absolutely
it would have been
could
perfectly
that,
timed.
but these basic bitch dumb motherfuckers decided to lean into no, we just what was one in their very first paragraph talking about this show, they mentioned diversity.
Yeah.
In like the second sentence. Fucking diversity. It's like, no, just talk about Tolkien. And that's the biggest mistake with Doctor Who. So I'll get to we'll talk about Doctor Who, then we'll get to the super chats for a little bit. So Doctor Who. They come out. I didn't know who the actor was. I'm fucking sound asleep it's Mother's Day. Not going to work. I just told the guys, I'm like, I'm not working today. It's Mother's Day.
Not working. It's Mother's Day. Not doing anything.
Got time.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to have the best Mother's Day possible for my, the best. And then my wife, wakes me up and she says, no Mother's Day today. I'm like, well, what happened? She's like, they picked a new doctor. And I'm like, what was the first question I asked? I said, what's he look like? He's black. Is he gay? And she goes, yes. I'm all, okay. Get up.
Get out of bed then.
So my second question was, is he gay? Because I knew it would be black and gay. I even told people that 2 years ago. But yeah, for that bullshit.
That's
that
what you've been saying the entire time. Is it's gonna be a black male and he's gonna be gay. You just call him.
But it's talent.
So
that's who they choose. They chose it on talent. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I'm like maybe the guy can play the asexual doctor who was just a doctor. Yes, that is within the realm of possibility. I think it's much, much, much more likely that this is going to be a probably a little better written woke disaster. Like the Chibnall era. I think RTD sold out. I'm just going to come out and say it. I just think he sold out. And that was answered within 3 interviews on the first day. First interview, fine. Sounded good. Got big shoes to fill. It's an honor. I've only got one heart, but I'm going to give it my all. That's a good answer. And then it started talking about feeling seen. Russell T. Davies says, I have much more to say. They start talking about the message. They start talking about diversity. They start talking about inclusion at the BAFTAs. And then they said, what kind of doctor are you going to be? Fabulous.
Oh, no.
That's
fierce.
That is like, okay, in all the adjectives you could have used to describe Doctor Who, do you ever describe him as fabulous? He dresses like a nerd. And I mean, in all the best ways, like sort of an upscale nerd, which I love about different variants of Doctor Who, or different, you know what I mean? Like
he dresses like a nutty professor.
Yeah, a nutty professor. And I love that. I love, and I like that. I love all the different takes. I don't know if this is,
fabulous.
We'll wait and see. I haven't watched Doctor Who in so long. I just don't care.
No, that's the thing is like they needed to make a decision to bring people back. I suggested you bring back some old doctors, you do some specials for a year until you introduce your 14th doctor. You get people, you need to get people back. Russell T. Davies decided to just continue doing the same. And he's making this show for London, for the elite in London, for the BBC, for the elite in Hollywood. It's not for the fans. So you're going to keep the same Jodie fans that might still be around, and the ones you needed back, me, Bulls Trek, fucking, I could name, but Ian out there from Rebecca Gold, you're not getting them back. It ain't happening. No way in hell. and like Bullstrek, a guy who fucking like has been passionate Doctor Who fan his entire life. You're never going to get this guy back. That's the kind of fan you need to back, and you need to keep that in mind. And it would have been very easy to fucking do. It wouldn't have been hard at all. You would have only pissed off a few fucking blue check marks on Twitter who might not even be around in October when Elon takes over. Everybody's going to have a blue fucking check mark pretty soon. I heard it's easier to get now. I don't want one, but
I'm going to get mine just so I can have it.
I don't know. Nah.
It's just, it confirms my retardation, I think. That's why I want it.
Okay. Well, I mean,
so I can have bad takes and be okay with it because I'm a check mark.
Because you're a check mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes with the territory.
But either way, like, it doesn't matter. Because hopefully it doesn't matter. Because it's only supposed to verify who the fuck you are. It's not supposed to make you special. Yeah. Okay? Because you're not.
The whole point is literally just that. Is it verifying that you are a person?
My check mark on my fucking YouTube channel does not make me special. Okay? You're not special. I'm not special. Please. Bitch, please. But with the Doctor Who announcement, I wanted to be hopeful, and I lost my hope within an hour. Within a fucking hour on the first day. So I felt stupid for having hope. I'm like, man, I'm a retard. You know, like Russell T Davies is a BBC guy. He came back to save the BBC in his third fucking interview, as talked about it. He fucking talks about voting out your conservative MPs so you can keep being fucking fleeced for a TV network that doesn't represent you at all. Fuck you, RTD. Fuck you, dude. Mm-hmm. And I don't even, like, that is the most un-American thing to me possible, and obviously because it's not in America, but like being forced to pay for propaganda, holy shit. Fuck that. Fuck that. It's bad enough.
That noise.
It's like the free propaganda I'm getting every day is bad enough. I don't want to be fucking paying for that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I felt sad for my fellow Doctor Who fans who had a little glimmer of hope. Just, you know what? It was a good run. It was a really, really good run. And we got 12 really good doctors. The 12th got fucked. And I'll even say Stephen Moffat got fucked. But I mean, like, it's over. It is over. The most important decision was the doctor. That was you needed to hit a home run, and they fouled out. They fucking fouled out. This is like, and the more I learn about this pick, this guy doesn't have any range. This guy has no fucking range. I went and looked at his stuff. I'm not seeing a lot of range. He plays himself. By the way, not born in the UK. Not born in the UK. I give shit what his skin color is, but be born in the UK. I think that's
all that matters.
I think that should matter. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some other doctors were born in like South Africa or something like that. I don't know for a fact. So, but I think you should be born in the UK.
Yeah, it's like whenever that came out, nobody talked about him being gay or black. That does not factor in. And that's the whole fallacy, is whenever they see people get mad about something like this, they never look into the actual context of why people are mad. They just go, oh, well, it must be because he's black and gay. That's why everybody hates it, because they're all bigots, blah, 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 blah. No, it's not that. It's because the third word out of your mouth was diversity, inclusion, diversity. I want to be seen. Little black kids can see themselves in the doctor. It's like,
Is Ian McKellen
red flags for bad content?
Is Ian McKellen known as gay actor Ian McKellen or actor Ian McKellen? Sir Ian McKellen.
Sir. Yeah.
But now it's like, I am gay activist actor. I don't want, like, I bet there was a lot of gay people who worked on Doctor Who that we don't even fucking know about. They've had gay showrunners that were very open about it. Or Russell T Davies wasn't the first. So, I don't have a problem with that. Nobody has a problem with it. I want to see Doctor Who. It's fucking Doctor Who. It's fucking Doctor Who. So, instead of, it just showed that they have no, and what are we so discouraged about? They know they have to earn the fandom back. That's why they got RTD. And what did RTD do? RTD do the worst thing fucking possible. He got fucking ideological in the first fucking hour of the announcement. Meaning, Fuck you guys. It's the same attitude. Like, we're going to make a more positive Star Trek, but then put January 6th footage in and call it the second Civil War.
We don't want to
Fuck
be
off.
preachy. Anson Mount.
Yeah, we don't want to be preachy. Shut up.
Okay.
See, they don't fucking know. They're not connected. They don't
But
care.
you're not going to include the Summer of Love? None of that. There you okay.
Or refer it to that as a second Civil War. And by the way, that leads to World War III. January 6th leads to World War III in Star Trek. In Kurtzman Trek. It's not Star Trek. It's not real Star Trek. It's shit. It's garbage. I did watch the first episode, and it's shit, and it's garbage. It's the same garbage they have been serving up for years.
What a surprise!
Oh, it's more hopeful and more familiar. No, it's not. It's the same shit. You just like Anson Mount. So, Doctor Who's dead. So we're gonna say goodbye to the bitch. Maybe I'll watch the first episode, but I'm not doing a fucking another season of this shit because it's the same old song and dance, baby. I'll report on the ratings as they crumble after the first appearance of this fabulous new Doctor in a fucking year, if I'll even care. Does anybody even care now? The show's so fucking old. Nobody watches it here. This, like, believe me, this went over like a lead balloon in America. Like, nobody gave a fuck. It got 123,000 likes. Really. Natural
Matt Smith
likes.
era was huge over here.
Yes, massive.
Huge, massive. My brother was super into it. All of his friends were into it. Every time you went to a con, countless doctors everywhere. Now it's nothing. Nobody cares.
Nope. And they can't go hype it up at Comic-Con. Nope. I guess they could, but I like, if you're the BBC, would you spend a bunch of money to go to a con that a bunch of people aren't going to go to because they got to wear masks?
Yeah. No.
Remember what I said?
Well, they are gonna, okay. Yeah. Sorry, Gary.
No, I was going to say, remember what I said 2 weeks ago, Chris? Like, you want to know culturally where pop culture is? Look at Comic-Con this year. And it sucks because I know you want to premiere your movie there. So I'm going to go. I'm still going to go for your movie. But I'm not setting foot in that place.
It's I don't know. There's so much stuff, chaos and things that happen outside of Comic-Con, those activations as they call it. And there's also, to me, the most fun is the hotel bars, because that's where you like, it's like, oh my God, like there's so, like if you know who people are, the Hyatt hotel bar used to be cool. They renovated it. It looks like hot garbage. So I think it's mainly going to be. They did. You know how cool that bar was at the Hyatt?
Yeah.
And you'd go in there and it's like, you'd see like a lot of people from like, who worked in animation, like Adult Swim people, like Chris Prynosky and John Schnepp was there. It's packed out. So it's like, to me, the hotel bars and just like hanging out with people, which was actually kind of the fun part of this last, you were there, I ran into you there and we hung out for a bit. Like that was cool, but it was like, well, it wasn't cool. It was like empty as hell, but I think it's going to be that again. I think it's just going to be a rerun of that. And I don't know, maybe that's a good thing to kind of downsize it a bit, get it down to the core fans. But you heard that they announced that the Fantastic Four will be introduced at San Diego Comic-Con.
Holy shit. H. Oh my God.
Really?
You hear that?
Wow.
It's happening. So is John Krasinski going to be in the Fantastic Four?
I don't think so.
Or was he a variant?
I don't think so. I do not think so. I think they used John so they could say, look, fans, we did it. We got the traditional white one out of the way, and then they're going to go
by the way, R.I.P. Schnepp. Definitely. Kang is a descendant of Reed Richards, and what did he look like in Loki? Pretty sure he was a black guy. So
how are they gonna like, okay, look, we've seen a whole bunch of different where they mix different things, where they mix things up. This is the beginning of the Marvel comic book universe, right? Like this is the first family of Marvel. This is a character. Reed Richards is based on Stan Lee. It was sort of, it was definitely, it was, not necessarily a self-insert, but kind of, right? Like that was Stan Lee, and along with J. Jonah Jameson, which is probably more like Stan Lee, but like, look, I've read the first 100 issues. I've read different runs. I've seen all the movies. I was on the freaking, you got to see that documentary Doomed if you ever get a chance, about the Roger Corman.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. But like, how are
I
they going
bought
to take
it.
that and justify this change, And we know, I think like
diversity, inclusion, so little black kids can see themselves and Reed Richards. That's the
we
it's
have enough
the
of it.
playbook.
I love Doomed. By the way, in that documentary, like those people really tried. They really tried to make a good movie.
Dude,
Commendable.
I was there and you saw the passion. Like, you have no idea it was like this, and no one had money, and it was really sad. But yeah, this is our opportunity to actually. There's never been a decent Fantastic Four, in my opinion.
No,
on the screen. With all due respect to the Tim Story stuff, and like there have been. I mean, the one thing I like about the Tim Story is the characters kind of felt like the essence of those characters in a bit. The Josh Trank one is not.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's
based on the more modern.
Almost so bad.
The 90s animated series is like the best version of them.
Yeah. Well, there was one in the 60s too that actually had the Human Torch, and then there was the one with Herbie the Robot, which is weird. But like, I feel like this is an opportunity. Special effects have caught up. Like, we can do this now. The Fantastic Four is widely known. It's like what, 60 plus years of history for these characters, and this is if can we just get one of the new Marvel properties going forward that is, accurate to the comics? I'm sorry.
No,
please.
We can't. We can't. And that's what we expected when Marvel took over Marvel. We didn't expect to get movies that looked like they were made by another company. It's like, that's what we're getting now. And now it looks like, I mean, yeah, I know Morbius sucked, but John Watts left the Fantastic Four, and it looks like because he didn't have that Sony buffer. And if Amy Pascal has to be your fucking buffer, then that's not good. We're not in a good situation. The fact that Amy Pascal and Tom Rothman were managed to put together a better movie than Kevin Feige should be bad for everybody, because they're
concerning.
Yeah, they don't have a good track record. We're talking Tom Rothman, who hated superhero movies, and Amy Pascal, who was behind the whole idea behind Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah,
it was her idea to do all female. So it's not good, and they're all on coke, which, I mean, at least is an explanation that makes some sense to me. That makes some sort of, all right, you're just fucking high. Okay. Wonky for $25 says, Chris, I've been a fan since G4, but your I've taken bigger shits than you comment on Flashcast made me feel like you were kin. Hail, brother. I love Nighttime Chris, Quarter Bleak Garnish, and Gary, you're neat too. I'm glad I'm neat. Wonky. Yeah, I believe your quote was, you've taken bigger shits than his bicep.
Yes. Which is actually true.
Talking about Lofty, which was absolutely devastating.
Let's not go down the Lofty rabbit hole. Yeah. I feel like he's trolling, and if he really thinks those things, I think he's a moron.
Yeah, but I think he's just trolling.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
It's a pretty good troll. It's a pretty good.
That's a good troll. He held it off like all night, to the point I just got frustrated and stopped. I think I fell asleep on it too. And then it was like I woke up, and then it's just like, oh, it's just Nick Rekieta and I. And it was hilarious.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like, at least you get some a modicum of sense from Nick Rekieta, because he just doesn't, like, Nick Rekieta consistently doesn't give a fuck about anything. So I
love it.
Yeah,
he's no
cool.
bullshit.
It's kind of cool. I can't wait to meet him at Anime Matsuri.
That's right.
When is that?
Last week of July in Houston.
And he's going.
Yes, Yellow Flash is going. That Umbrella guy's going. I'm going. Garrett's going.
I don't know what half those guys look like.
Pretty sure Jeremy's going to be there.
Jeremy?
Jeremy. Great.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers.
Jeremy.
By the way, Jeremy, if you're out there, Jeremy, Ryan, who else? Odin. You guys have to come to Texas now.
Yeah, it's too bad, guys. You got to come.
You have to come to Texas now, so start making plans. You have to come.
Can I drive? I think I can drive from LA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's what you do is, do you like driving? Do you like
I
driving?
love driving. Love
Okay.
it. Listen to podcasts. I'm all
Do the
about
12 hours to Lubbock. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So take 12 hours to Lubbock, stay in Lubbock, get some sleep, and then it's like 7 hours after that to
it. Nice.
And Lubbock's a nice West Texas town. Quiet.
It's quiet.
Not a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You don't want to go to like El
Fairly safe.
Paso or
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Because that's too close to the border. Lubbock's nice. Lubbock's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
That's where your grandparents go live.
Right.
At least mine. That's where they all went.
it's a fucking drive. Like I like the Southwest is awesome to drive, man. You just put on. I put on well, I'm easy. I put on podcasts and my Aussie's Boneyard Boomer satellite radio, and just enjoy it. It's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just listen. It's like Black Sabbath, Megadeth, Ozzy. What's in the little Led Zeppelin, and then Motorhead. It's just over and over again. It's great. I'm in heaven. Manowar 65, the neighbor of the beast, says Chris. We couldn't make the very limited local showtimes for RRR, but the old lady and I just finished Bulhabali. What the fuck? Bulhabali 1 and 2 from the same director. Thanks for recommending. Thanks for the recommendations from Shadversity. Far-fetched and over the top as all get out, yet fun as hell. Yeah, that's fine. Over the top. We need some over the top.
Yeah,
we need that back.
It's weird how Indian cinema, and this is what's different about it. I'll just a couple quick things about it is that it's not centralized in the sense that there are two different cinemas there. Like here in America, it's Hollywood and that's it. But in India, there's Bollywood and there's what they call Tollywood, and they compete. And I actually think it makes the industry better for that reason. And these movies they're making better Hollywood spectacle films than Hollywood right now. And that RRR movie is something, if you can catch it, I'm sure it'll end up on Netflix or something, but you got to see it somehow when it's out.
Yeah. I can't wait to see RRR. But yeah, the show times were just nuts for me.
Yeah.
But
I know.
My wife liked Lost City, by the way. She wanted me to tell you that.
Oh, really?
For all the ladies and rom-com-y stuff, she said it was funny. Good.
You know what? It's just entertaining. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's also a little fan respect apparently in it, like a little line from Tatum Channing about his character. Yeah. I thought she pointed out, oh, that's a good line. I like that. Do normies now consider the MCU the same thing as the Fast and the Furious and Transformer franchises? Daniel, I think that is a very good observation. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. As long as fast cars and giant robots are on the screen, that's as deep as they go. If it was just simply that, I wouldn't be criticizing it. Like, yes, there's
I wish it was just that.
But if I didn't think the driving motivation for every film now was to apologize for your male lead character and just throw in a bunch of bland fucking women as much as possible. Like, I'm not against women, but they're not even like fun to look at. For one was a child. Okay. So I'm not going to look at a fucking child. And they're being criticized for that. This child who was just put in to exist to be POC superhero, which is the same as she is in the comic books. Her skin was too light for a lot of people. Her skin was too light. And you know what? Fucking good. I'm glad Disney's getting shit like this. You invited this shit. You can fucking have it. And, it's too bad that the actress has to go through that. But,
that's how racist these wokeists are.
If you love your children, you wouldn't let them go to fucking Hollywood.
Who are they criticizing, Gary? Who are they criticizing for being
Miss Marvel actress and the America Chavez actress are coated white because their skin is too light.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so stupid. What a stupid criticism.
No, working for Marvel is not a good experience, according to some who I have spoke to. It's just not a good experience at all. I live in California. I've been rooting for Lex Luthor in Superman 1978, says the Brand Man for $2. Hashtag me too. Except my mom's still there. My sister's still there. And you're there. There's a lot of good, and Chris is there. There's there's a lot of good people in California that need to get the fuck out. It ain't changing. It ain't changing.
Yeah, it's too far down the road.
Dude, can you
Too
see
far down the
LA
road.
getting a Giuliani? Because that's what they need. They need a Giuliani. Giuliani came in to New York in the 90s and cleaned it up. Made the hard decisions, did what he needed to do. Now, all of that's been undone by, God, your new mayor, the new mayor of New York. That guy's a fucking idiot. Wow. But maybe Andrew Wong would have been, did he go up against Wong? He might have been better than this guy. I don't know.
Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang. Yeah.
Andrew Yang, yeah.
He didn't make it.
Sorry, Andrew Wong was my customer.
I kind of love Andrew Yang. He's so funny. It's just
Yeah,
kind
I
of
like
like, oh, I guess I'm going to run for office. I don't know, whatever. I have some bad ideals, but yeah, I'm going to spray, fun whiz in people's mouths and stuff.
He needs to be a bigger
funny.
asshole. I feel like the world needs assholes for good. Like people are just like, nah, we're doing this, or nah, we're not listening just because you're loud on Twitter, or nah, we're not doing that, or more
DeSantis's where he's just like, yeah.
Or more like, nah, we make entertainment for families and children. We're not going to go down that road. And we hear the parents. We hear that this is something that they don't want. So we're not going to do that. Where is the asshole? The asshole, and I mean in a good way, just like, no, we're not going to do it. This is our company. This is our policy. This is, Cinnabon. Cinnabon is not going to take a position
on abortion.
I have no idea. Okay, Cinnabon is a verified account on Twitter that follows. That's the only thing that if you're a verified account on Twitter, and Quarterback Garrett, but you definitely should be verified on Twitter. I think just everybody should be verified if you're willing to disclose, like, this is who I am. Just, you got to check that, like, that's actually a person, and the person with like the anime icon in there. Well, of course, here I'm talking with like, I've got my little cartoon icon right now, but it's because I woke up and I look like shit. So I appreciate Gary allows me to do that. But like
it's not true.
You don't get verified if you're not willing to be a public, and that's fine. It should just be, it should just, that whole thing of verification being some status symbol should go away completely. It should just completely go away. It doesn't make you better or anyone. Doesn't mean your opinion is better or more valid.
Clearly.
Fuck that shit. I mean, fuck that.
It almost proves the opposite.
It proves the opposite. Exactly. It's like, no, it should only mean this is who this person is. This person is, I mean, you can have your nickname Nerdrotic, but you this is who you are. You're, Gary. That's whatever it is. It's just, I don't know, that thing, that is bullshit.
Yeah, it keeps you. I think keeps impersonations. That's the YouTube check mark is strictly for impersonations. That's it. That's it. Right. That's all it exists for. I absolutely think you should get it at least 10,000 subs. I would argue 1,000 subs. That would be I'd say like if that's 1,000 subs, for 1,000 subs to get monetized is bullshit. 2, I didn't need 1,000 subs to get monetized.
Yeah, it didn't used to be that way.
Fucking, I was monetized with like 2 subs. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is. I think at least, 10,000, and I would argue 1,000 to get a check mark.
Makes sense.
What is it at now? 100?
100,000.
It's crazy.
That's
to get a check mark.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, to get a check mark. You get a check mark. You get an access to a person. Supposedly, it's a bot. And then you might get a partner manager, which is pretty helpful. Yeah. Like, it turns out to be helpful to have somebody at YouTube to talk to. You get a human being who at least sounds like they're on your side. They
try.
I think they do. Like the guy I talked to, I put him through. I'm like, you watch my stuff. You know what I'm about. I ain't changing. So, do you still want to go ahead with this? And he's all, yeah, okay.
All right.
I'm still not watching it until they retcon the timeless children and stop with the political woke bullshit, which means never, I guess. Like, Kev, for $10, that's why I didn't even get to timeless children. It's pointless. I never thought they were retconning it in the first place. I think I've been pretty consistent on that argument, and they're not. So, buying into Doctor Who right now, and again, I don't mean to like shame a fan. All right, that's not my intention. But you're just desperate. Your hope is desperation. And if that's what it is, fine. But you will be disappointed. You will be disappointed. I would say, don't even give them that chance to disappoint you. Let their ratings flounder from the beginning, and then that's it. It needs, Az was absolutely right. It needs to go on a hiatus for at least a decade.
Wow.
Yep. It's done. It's
agreed.
fucking done.
It's the same thing with Star Wars and Star Trek, and all this stuff needs to stop.
What's up, Nerd Cookies? Look at that
Come
check
back.
mark. She got a check mark.
Nerd
Look at
cookies.
Nerd Cookies with the check mark.
Nerd
Oh.
cookies.
Nerd Cookies is cool.
Where you been?
Where you been, girl? No, she's always around. She's always around. She does fun lore videos on Dune and Lord of the Rings and other stuff. She's really good.
Shit, I got to subscribe to that channel.
You do. Yeah, she doesn't get
Yeah.
involved in any of the mucky shit that I get involved in. 'Cause she's nice. So, but she's been around for a long time. And I remember when she got 4,000 subs. I remember when she had under 1,000 subs. So to see her like rise this much is awesome. Dedication, consistency. That's how you do it.
That's where it's at.
Yep, that's where it's at, baby. I checked out when Dr. Karen was the reason Rosa Parks stood up for herself. Yeah, that a lot of people checked. The Ran Man for $2. That was so fucking bad. That is so bad. That's going to be looked at as like, you did not do that. You did not have a white ass fucking Karen go on and tell Rosa Parks down on the bus. Holy shit. I couldn't even.
It's so woke you're racist again.
Ryan Kennel couldn't have thought of something that racist. Shit. And he sits around and thinks about that
Harriet
stuff.
Tubman. It was all because of a white woman that came and told her what to do. It was.
Oh my God. So they're not retconning the timeless children. They're doubling and tripling down. And I was very happy to see Bowles Trek come back in his glory. Like it's his old name. Everything, his old logo's back. Bowles Trek is back. So yeah, we're gonna be doing some eviscerating over the next year. And then like I'm pretty sure that's it. Because I think we're just going to it's going to be rinse and repeat with the shows. And I just can't do the shows. Like, I have found my limit for bad television. It's 3 seasons. It's 3 seasons. I will do 3 seasons, and then I'm fucking out. Peace out. So, like the Star Trek Discovery, 3 seasons. Doctor Who, 3 seasons. Picard, 3 seasons. That's all I can do. Because I even Doctor Strange, I had fucking Babylon 5 on the screen above me. I even showed the video to add, and I'm like, Babylon 5. I don't want to do this, and I have not complained this much about a review like ever. And my wife told me to shut up because I kept complaining to her. I was complaining to Garrett. I was complaining to Perry. I was complaining to Az. I complained to Jeremy. I complained to Ryan. I complained to you guys out there yesterday. I'm complaining today. It's not even done. Poor Perry.
Yeah, he's got to go through it.
He's got to go through it again. And it's because we had to watch it again. And like you said, when you watch it again and you just think, okay, I'm going to try not to think about the sling ring every scene. And I couldn't. So. And as far as tell me, well, this will be an upload on Nerdrotic Live. You can certainly leave the comments here if you want. If I don't see everything in the chat, I definitely want to hear what your thoughts are on Doctor Who. Are you going to give it a chance? Did you nope out a long time ago? Maybe I'll put a poll up on Twitter. But yeah, it looks like it was a wet fart. Like nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody's really that excited. And wow, they had one fucking job. One fucking job. And they blew it out the get-go 2 years before they even have a show made, or a year and a half, I should say. A year and a half. Chris.
Yes.
Do you need to go?
Yeah, in a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're wrapping up.
We're going to wrap up. Yeah, we're going to wrap up because these shows are usually going to be 2 hours, folks. They're usually going to be 2 hours. Like the subject matter is just like usually we'll be able to get everything encapsulated in 2 hours, but like fucking Lord of the Rings and Doctor Who and Doctor Strange, and I didn't even talk about Strange New Worlds or Picard.
There's so much going on this week.
It's like this weekend's insane. Insane, and I just want to watch Babylon 5. That's all I want to do. It's so good.
My happy place.
It's my happy place now. It is. Raven 3363 for 2468 says, "Well, I was cautiously optimistic with the casting, but the interviews you watched told me everything I needed to know. I watched I watched The Witch Die, and I'll watch the 60th, and after that, I'm probably done. R.I.P. Doctor Who. Yeah, 60th is probably a good place to like quit. I think maybe. And again, congratulations to Nerd Cookies. Well deserved, very well deserved. And our buddy Nick Weiser, 32 flavors of Nick Weiser hit 1,000 subs. 1,000 subs. So yeah, onwards and upwards.
Love Nick. Love Nick.
And our boy Ryan, he might be at 140. Is he at 140? He was at 139. I'm pretty sure he's at 140 now. Getting really close to 150. Oh, and we're not doing so bad either. We're getting close to 450.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we hit 449 today, right? I wasn't checking, but
I think so. Let me see.
And
that's accurate.
Thank you.
Threat, we're closing it on 40,000.
Yeah, buddy.
There you go. I'll take it.
How close are you? How close are you?
Like just a few hundred, like maybe 400.
Subscribe, everybody. Subscribe to Film Threat. That's Chris's. I mean, there's great Chris Gore videos on there where he just like really succinctly breaks down like what the fuck's wrong with Hollywood and how to fix it. Like gives suggestions, like really good ones. And they also like throw out a lot of indie movies. That's what they're there for. They're about the solution. So they are. This is a great channel. And look at that. You are so close to 40,000. So close to 40,000.
Oh, that's great. I want to hit that. I want to hit that 40,000. I just, look, we talk about it's me and my co-host is Alan Ng, who runs the Film Threat website. We talk about indie movies. Tonight we're doing a live stream. We're going to talk about this movie called Pleasure, which was at Sundance, and it's about it's very adult is all I'm going to say. And then also we're going to talk about Top Gun a little bit too. So
sweet.
It's a lot of movies. And then the other thing is that we started doing on Fridays is we interview indie film directors, and you can talk to them and this week we've got 3 directors coming on, and all their movies come out on VOD on Friday. So it's like, not only am I going to interview them, but if you're in the chat and you come up with a good question, boom, I'm throwing it up there for people to check out. So look, our topless Avengers videos, we edited together all the scenes from Marvel movies where the Avengers are topless.
That's funny. You talked to Robert Eggers, the director of The Northman, did you not?
That's right.
Yeah, right there.
Robert Eggers. So it's like sometimes we get access to directors, but like what I want to do is include the chat in the conversation with the filmmakers so they can ask questions too. So a lot of these are, obscure indie movies, but you can check out the trailers and then join in the conversation. So
I think
come by.
Obscure indie movies in some cases, I mean, can be good, can be very, very good. And the alternative,
there's a ton of good ones. There's this one called Hatching that opened last week from a Swedish director. There's a movie this week we're talking about that Christina Ricci's in called Monstrous, about a swamp monster that haunts this woman in the 50s. And it's all set in the 50s. And Christina Ricci looks freaking amazing in that movie. Look it up. Monstrous.
Escobonofonos, who's been a member for 11 months, says, I'll pour a drink to Doctor Who and watch the 11th hour. Watch the 11th hour. It's great. It's a great episode. So fucking good. So light years better than anything they have done in so long. We got Gesture of... Oh, here we go. All right. We got Kung Fu Hot Dog for $5 says, Hail, gents. Gary, congrats to Jodie Whittaker, first female doctor to pilot the retardus. And Chris, turn on super chats on your live streams. Quarter Black, what the heavy metal are you listening to at the moment? What's the heavy metal you're listening to at the moment?
Right now, it's a lot of Motorhead, just because I'm trying to get more into that. It's been a long time since I've listened to a lot of Motorhead, so I've been doing that recently. Because Lemmy's fucking rad.
A legend.
Find all his
videos of him answering letters too. They're pretty funny.
Oh, I fucking love them. That's why I started getting into it again, because there was, for some reason, I was doing a meme answer to something on Twitter, and I wanted to get a Lemmy quote, and then I just started watching his interviews. His interviews are so good. He's so fucking awesome.
Chris, why haven't you turned on your super chats?
Okay. We're monetized, but for some reason they need to verify my identity, and they're asking me for all this paperwork. So I had to do an LLC. So I did an LLC in Vegas, and I'm waiting for it's all a paperwork thing. It's not there's nothing YouTube nefarious. It's I'm incompetent. That's what it is.
Okay. And did you just do this online, by the way?
Yes, I did all the
LLC in
I'm getting
Vegas?
the LLC. I got to get an EIN number. You know about all this, Gary.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well, that's why I'm waiting to do it in Texas.
Yeah.
A lot fucking cheaper.
I'm doing it in Vegas, and so I have to upload the paperwork. I don't have it all yet, but it'll be in the next couple weeks. We'll be and thank you for that. Remind me, like it's like I'm really waiting on other people for the paperwork.
So, do you have a PO box there or something, or you just?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's yes, I do have like an actual office that I share with other people that I never go to.
But dude, you need it that saves you so much money.
No, you have to. Yeah. So
saves you so much money. Yes.
No, you actually have to have a physical office.
Dude, I got I don't even want to say what I got dinged. I got dinged just for the small business tax.
Yeah.
I could have bought a fucking car for that.
Yeah.
Oh, small business car. Yeah. A good car. Fucking money.
Yeah.
A good one.
So we'll have the super chats back on in like a couple weeks, probably before the end of the month. It's just, again, it's I didn't realize I needed all this paperwork, and they just sort of threw this at me. It's like, I don't know why I can't just keep making money and get them the paperwork. I'm not asking to withdraw money, it's whatever. YouTube was kind of YouTube is sort of a side thing that like I really love now. Like people like yourself and FNT just really inspired me to I should lean into this more.
Yeah.
Because I love these conversations. These are honest conversations. We don't always have to agree. Like when you guys get into that discussion of binge watching, obviously I was on your side, Gary, but I loved hearing different opinions and different justifications. It
makes sense. I mean, there's a reason they did it, and I've been watching Babylon 5, absolutely. But as a fucking business that wants to be around, you cannot do that. You just can't. No. It makes no sense. It's unique to Netflix, and it works until it doesn't work. And guess what? It's not working anymore.
Yeah,
and we knew it wouldn't. Lamb chop for 55 when the TV is not on YouTube, it's usually the Classic Who channel. There you go. But it'll be B5 when you're done today. Dude, I'm watching B5 and working on The Office. Well, I got a Lord of the Rings video, but that'll be easy peasy today. It's going to be an easy video. Thank you, Lamb Chop, for the 55, by the way. $50 from the NYC Geek. Thank you, NYC Geek. Says, damn it, Gary. I'm already furious about the disrespect these companies are giving to the fans with piss-poor products like Doctor Strange and the Rings of Power. I call it the Rings of Prime. Don't even get me started on the awful mayors, too. I wish de Blasio was shipped off planet. Yeah, he was he's terrible. They're all terrible. All the city mayors are pretty shit these days. Pretty shit. DeSantis has to be the new kind of politician. The guy who kind of walks like Vince McMahon,
a little bit, yeah.
His dong is 20 inches long and it's getting in the way of things. That's what you need from a politician right now. $10 from Thomas.
Well, you see,
go on.
No, I was going to say that tweet from the Chicago mayor is unconscionable. It's why would you already things are can we dial down the rhetoric a bit about everything? Dial it down. And where are the sober-minded statesmen, politicians, and statesmen that refers also to women? It's just a blanket term like mankind, whatever. It's we need to dial things back, not turn them up. It's like they want horrific things to happen on the news and in the world. It's disgusting.
They do.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Did you see when that Trump supporter got executed? Just walked up and executed. Yep. People were like, no sympathy, nobody empathy.
Cared.
No, you're not fucking human, by the way. One of the worst things you could. I'm king of the obvious statements here today. Wishing death on somebody is the worst form of fucking karma on the planet. You don't ever want to do that. That stains your soul. All right, like enemy or not, it is the worst thing you can do. And I time and time again in my 52 short years here, I have seen that bite people in the ass. Like Don't ever do. And yeah, wishing for that shit. Yeah, you know, you might give Tim Pool what he wants, and he'll be fine. He'll be in West Virginia in a compound that's got like armed guards behind him, and he'll be fine. I won't be fine. Quarterback won't be fine, and his family. You know, like that. This is not what we want. It's not. We're not watching a fucking reality show. This is reality. Richard Dolan, UFO guy. Yes, UFO guy. Probably, in my opinion, the most respected UFO guy. Also historian, did a great live stream yesterday. Fucking fantastic video. Well, it's a video premiere. It's on his channel. It's from yesterday. He talks about all of this. And it's got the best title in the world. Are aliens totalitarians? but the whole lead up is really talking about like progress, American history and Western civilization history and progress as it relates to big tech and what we're in now and how we've stopped making progress. And the guy, like, number one, was a historian. So if you're into that kind of thing, watch that live stream after this. It's really fun. Cannot recommend it enough. I want to see that's fuck celebrities. I want to talk to Randall Carlson and Richard Dolan. That's who I want to talk to. Yeah, I will get those guys on the show someday. I will try. I will really try.
The UFO guy.
Nice. He's the most respected UFO guy. Like, grounded. Will listen to every story, will not believe everything, but also relates it to he's got this really healthy mistrust of the government that just makes us kindred spirits. Yeah. I love that.
A question that I always like to ask to anyone that is espousing views that I think are, intended to cause harm. Do you want progress, or do you want revenge?
And they want revenge.
It's revenge.
Exactly.
Yeah. 100%.
Exactly. And that's the obvious. Clearly it's about revenge, and people who felt as if they were once bullied are now the bullies. And this is this isn't working out for anybody.
Yeah. The meek did not inherit the earth. The bitter did. The bitter. Yeah. And what you're so right. And what are they getting revenge for? Getting bullied decades ago, not getting enough hugs. We all got bullied. All kinds of shit happened to us. It was fucking terrible. You move past it, or that bully who bullied you when you were fucking 5 wins every day. Your abuser wins every day. The longer I'll use my I statements, use my recovery principles. When I don't work on it, it becomes my problem. A great time to got a couple more super chats to read, but real quick, talk about the Cernovich tweet. He came out. Now, some of you might like Cernovich and like his takes and stuff, and that's cool. That's fine. I'm just talking about this one thing. He came out and said and this is where the right wing, I've talked about this before, the pundits, not you guys out in the audience, but the pundits fail you every fucking time. Every time.
Yeah.
When they come out against video games, heavy metal music, he said, and if it's a personal choice, that's fine. But what he followed it up with is like, hey, I'm not, if he says I'm not in the metal or horror films anymore, he could have ended it there. I wouldn't have said anything. But he said it opens up like a window to what did he say? For demons to corrupt your here, I'll get the exact tweet. I have it up here. Hang on. I'll read it. You want to send it to me? I can pull it up. I'll just read it up. I'll probably show my fucking personal messages again like you do. I did it today. I
would never do that.
It was just Lady Gravemaster telling me about the fucking Tolkien stuff. So it's nothing really earth shattering. But here it is. That's Ryan being racist. Let me get past that.
Scroll, keep scrolling.
Well, he put up the white Black Panther, and I had to retweet it because I just love it. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Chrissy Mayer, who was on Gutfield last night. She fucking killed it.
That's right. That's awesome.
Thurnovich said, I don't watch horror or listen to metal. I truly believe it opens demonic portals via a spirit of fear. I even stopped listening to hip hop and most secular music. Okay, it's a personal choice, but you're also telling all of your everybody on the right who listens to metal, who listens to likes a horror movie, that they're opens their minds. This is PMR see weird shit that we need to really get past. A devout Christian can listen to heavy metal and watch a horror movie.
I love Jesus. I do both of those things.
Yes, and
I love all three.
And this is from a guy who wrote a book called The Gorilla Mindset that I read. This is not. I repeat, this is not the gorilla mindset. Okay, for one, demons, we all got them. However you interpret them, we all got them. Mine are little bitches that are locked up into a cage, and if they get out again, it's on me. It's my responsibility. It's not God's. It's not heavy metal. It's not a fucking horror movie. It's not a video game. It's me. I allowed them out. It's just a way to shake responsibility. That's the worst message to send, period. And it's super out of touch. Like, Jeremy brought this up over and over again. He's fucking right. That, coming out against video games, even a guy like Gavin McGinnis, like, totally disrespects video games and stuff. And it's just don't like, you lose so many people. We would be in much better shape. Eric July went on a great rant last night about this. We'd be in much better shape if people had paid attention to art, culture, music, and video games on the right and in the center, instead of just fucking abandoning it and letting the lunatics fucking take over, because they completely underestimated its impact on culture. And now
vastly underestimated.
I agree 100%, Gary. And part of that is I got in a fight years ago. Oddly enough, I worked on a video game magazine for years in the 90s while I was doing Film Threat. Long story, don't want to bore you with it, but I got in a big fight with Daniel Lundgren. I don't know if you remember him. He was the Attorney General of the state of California, who ran for governor. I got in a very public fight with him. The guy, first of all, the guy's a fucking prick. But he sent this blanket thing out as Attorney General of the state of California, warning the video game industry. This is when Mortal Kombat came out.
Yep.
If you do not regulate yourselves, we are going to do it for you.
Fuck off.
It was like this veiled threat. That. He sent that out. So I responded in an issue of Video Games magazine from the 90s. I was a little provocative because I did put his head on one of the finishing moves of Mortal Kombat in a photo. His spine is being torn out. And apparently one of his nephews was a subscriber to Video Games magazine and saw it. And what I did is I responded to his press release wanting to regulate the video games. Can you imagine if there was legislation to regulate the video games industry? Fuck that. So I wrote this article explaining that games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, that are, some consider button mashers, aren't really that. They're really forms of high-speed chess. If you just smash buttons, you are not going to win. If you come up with the correct combos at the right time with using your reflexes, you can that's how you win. It is chess at high speed. And I try to defend the aspects of video games that are puzzle solving and really good for kids, right? I mean, obviously there should be some recommended age restrictions, and you as a parent can decide whether you want your kid to see an R-rated movie or to play a mature video game. That's up to the parent to decide.
Yep.
And I'm fine with that. But he was talking about some insane shit. So yeah, I'll have to dig that up one day.
No,
government's trying to regulate.
He was under
art.
Pete Wilson, former San Diego mayor, who was the governor of California in the 90s when California was fucking red. Just not super red, but red. And San Diego was really red. And that shows you how quick it can turn. And you want to know how quick it turned that quick? Fucking didn't pay attention to culture. Didn't pay attention to music.
Didn't pay attention.
Nope.
And also in the 90s, it was more the religious right that was being very censorious. And I'm just not in favor of any censorship from any side.
They were it was disingenuous politicians who weren't fucking religious in any way, catering to the religious right that they weren't believing in themselves. And I think we are in an era now where people are, thanks, babe, you're the best. She brought me a smoothie.
Shake.
There you go.
I'm so hungry.
We'll wrap it up. But yeah, no, it's I just got distracted, but we're just now fighting back, and we're so fucking far behind on this.
Yeah.
That like, if we right now, our victories are destroying a woke TV show that we should be loving. Like, that sucks, but that's where we're at right now. And we need to keep doing
Where is music? where is music in this fight?
Music's
I mean,
dead.
I think most music today is shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom McDonald.
Well,
seems to be
most pop culture music that they put forth is like, this is the popular music of our time. It's all trash. It's all garbage.
But it used to be culturally significant, or at least say something in some veiled way. I mean, I remember just, you know, being very influenced by, you know, I loved, you know, obviously Nirvana and just so much stuff like that. Like, where is that sort of like, we need music to be angry again. I think anger can be used as a force for good. You know, so I don't know, man. It's culturally a very bizarre time, but I do see signs, and I know you do too, Gary, that the tide's definitely turning. And I hope that Elon is allowed to do what he wants to do. And this ministry of misinformation is the worst idea in the history of ideas.
It needs to be voted out. Like, there needs to be clean sweeps in both houses, and I'm fine with clean sweeping establishment Republicans. Let's get everybody establishment the fuck out. Now, of course, Democrats are going to get replaced by these psycho AOC commie types, right? But they will lose faster. If that's, I mean, like that's why there's so many old fogies on the Democratic Party. They're trying to stem the tide of the radical,
right?
And they just can't. They
let him in,
and
they let him in, and they were like, "Come on in." And then I don't think they realized what the crazy radicals were. They let AOC, they thought, oh, the young base is going to get in. It's going to get all the youngsters in.
Right.
Not what you thought they were. Not what you thought they were. But yeah, term limits across the board. Everybody in the government. Term limits.
Everything. Razorfist is probably the smartest and most consistent on that particular subject, but on a lot of subjects when it comes to politics. And I totally agree with them. And electoral voting for California, there has to be now. There's too much concentration in the cities, and it's too big of a state.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because right now San Francisco and LA are voting for the entire state. So I think it'll break up. I think that'll probably be. I don't know how you do that, but it's needed. California's needed to break up for a long time, because people just aren't represented anymore.
No, they're not.
They're just not. It's not a representative government. We go. So literally, I just got home from seeing Doctor Strange, and I laughed out loud at all the stuff you guys pointed out. So you made an action movie, a comedy for me. LOL. Sorry for a random off-topic message. It's okay, Summit Ranger. That's on point for the show. Thank you for the $19.99. Y'all should check the Zombified by Falling in Reverse. Is that a band? Maybe.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up real quick. We got 2 minutes. We've already gone way too long. Elijah Elvis. Are you gonna see that Elvis movie, Chris?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the trailer. It looks decent. I mean, that guy is going to play Feyd-Rautha in Dune, you know, Part 2 or Dune Prophet. So it interests me for that reason alone. But the trailer looks amazing. But Tom Hanks in a fat suit looks a little comical.
It looks really.
It looks a little silly.
It looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Elvis movies. I love Elvis.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go see him die again. But yeah, the Tom Hanks thing is like, whew.
Yeah, it looks a little silly.
Yeah, I just sort of laughed when I saw him in that. It's like, okay, so
yeah,
fat suit on you, fine.
Zombified is a song, so yeah, I will definitely check that out.
Okay. Hello, came in from Loud with Crowder to see the nerdery that is Quarter Black in the wild. Appreciate what you guys are doing. Much nerd love from Kentucky. A2 Day K for $4.99. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hell, Steven Crowder. Planet High Five for $10. If the Human Torch is gay, put as much money as you can on that actually happening, because he will be gay. I promise you he'll be gay.
He's flaming.
He's flaming. Will he, she, insert pronouns be considered a flaming gay? Love the show. Yes.
I'm sorry I ruined your joke. It was your joke.
Disney Marvel will never give the appropriate respect to the Fantastic Four. In fact, Hollywood itself likely can't. Why? Because it's story about a white heterosexual nuclear family, the thing they hate the most. From Brian Martinez for $20. Yep. And that's going to end up biting them in the ass because it's not just white folk who like nuclear families. Everybody likes their family. Everybody likes their brother and their sister and their mom and their dad. Well, most everybody. We like family. We like the idea of family. And the fact that somebody doesn't like the idea of that, it's weird.
It's weird.
All right. We're going to wrap it up. Got to cut it off there. I got videos to make, videos to finish. I love you guys. When this show, we're pretty close to getting the center table.
Ooh. That's right.
Once we get the center table, that's when this show like officially starts. Okay, folks, like we're going to get guests. It's going to be a real podcast. Monday, Wednesday, every Monday and Wednesday. Chris will be here on Wednesday. And we're really close for that. I've been working really hard to make that happen. So we're close. We're super close. And we're like, it's not bad. Not bad. I'm thinking probably before the meetup in Dallas, I should be done. Garrett will be able to fully work remotely from his home to help me out. And we're off to the races. So we're getting close. But there's going to be until that's done, it's one day at a time. That's the only thing. I can't really schedule anything beyond that. So I thank my mods for their patience. They're very nice people. Thankless job. So great job, Modrotics. Thanks, Garrett, for your help today. Thanks, Perry, for his working really hard on the Doctor Strange video. Thank you, X-Ray Girl, for nothing today because she didn't do anything, but we still like her. Congratulations to Chrissy Mayer, who was on Greg Gutfeld, and all her racist jokes got cut out. I think she's doing a live stream, she's doing one right now, I think, where she talks about those jokes. You could probably go over that right after this. Congratulations to Nerd Cookies on 100,000 subs. Congratulations to 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser for 1,000 subs. Thanks everyone who left a super chat and a donation. We truly appreciate you. Guys, let's plug your channels and get out of here. We'll start with Chris.
My channel is Film Threat. Sub to Film Thread. Looks like we're gonna close in on 40,000. Thanks to you, Gary. I just want to say thank you again for including me on the show, Gary. And just a pleasure to be with you and Garrett on a Wednesday, just hanging out and talking nerd shit and other shit. So just thank you for being here. And there you go, Film Thread. We're doing a live stream tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Come check it out. We'll be talking more about Top Gun. And then also this movie Pleasure. So that's
is it going to be like the new Boogie Nights?
Yes, it's the female version of Boogie Nights, effectively, and which is a good thing. I mean, look, I don't want to get into it too much on this channel. It's because it's very graphic. This is much more graphic than Boogie Nights was.
Oh,
so
maybe we should watch it.
Yeah,
review.
It's borderline. I mean, I'll talk about it with my colleague Alan Ings. So yeah, can't wait. And just thank you guys again. We'll get to 40,000 tonight at some point.
You will. Oh, you might be there already.
I actually read the chat while I'm doing the show, but I read it on my phone. So just so that chat knows, I kind of lurk in there and I'll just say hi to everybody.
You need a big chat screen. That's what I got now. A big chat screen.
I got to get a setup. I've been looking at other YouTube channels and like how they do their setups. I definitely need a new setup. So for sure, I'm working on it.
Got to be a loser and have a studio in your house.
Yeah. A home studio. That's
one of those
loser.
Yeah, I'm going to be that. So, but thank you again. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Chris. Thanks for being here. It's an honor, buddy. Like it's surreal.
Yeah,
it's
man.
really fucking cool talking to you. I can't wait to see you in San Diego. We're gonna have a good time, dude. We're gonna have a good time.
Be fun.
Yeah, we are. Carter Black.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I love this show. I love Chris. I love you. I love the chat. Just throwing all the appreciations out there. Yeah, you could follow me on my YouTube channel, Quarter Black Garrett. I'm almost at 34K.
Sweet.
Hey, almost there. I'm 33.9. Pretty close. Yeah, we do live streams there where I talk about random stuff. Tonight, I'm probably going to be talking about some news today that I find on Twitter, and I haven't found it yet. So look out for that. We just do chill stuff on my channel. So come over and hang out. That's what we do.
Excellent. Doctor Strange review coming soon. And then
that's right. That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Possibly.
Can't wait.
And Lord of the Rings video probably on the weekend. I'll get around to do. I'm probably going to do a live Strange New Worlds review tomorrow on the first 2 episodes, just on Nerdrotic Live.
Ooh.
So, it's spoilers. It sucks.
What? No,
it really sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Yeah.
The eternal optimism of fandom. Oh, it can be a double-edged sword sometimes, but that's fine. You don't want that to die. You don't, because that was the best part of fandom. I don't know if it still is. Thanks everyone. We'll see you on Friday. Friday we got Anthony Cumia. Anthony Cumia, the real king of all fucking media. The guy who kept his balls, kept his credibility, got canceled by the way. Got thrown to the wolves by people like Bill Burr, Mr. Badass anti-PC sellout comedian. So yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan of Bill Burr. Because I like Anthony Cumia. I think that guy's real. Keeps it fucking more real than anybody. He runs Compound Media. Go check it out. Chrissy's on that as well. Mm-hmm. I've been a fan of that for a long time. So thanks, everyone. Please enjoy some credits, and we will see you Friday. See you next time. Ciao.
Do you want to take it live? Do you want to cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Dame, dame.